The Adelaide Xtreme were the talk of the hockey town after a convincing win last week, but the Stars are looking to bounce back and hope the planets align to get themselves in the win column. Welcome inside the ice arena on beautiful Ghana land in Adelaide, South Australia. Welcome to the NHSL. Welcome to the broadcast. I'm Eric Balnar, joined by Justine Ruffino, hockey expert for this game. Justine, welcome to the broadcast.
Thanks a lot, Eric. I'm really excited for this one. This is going to be an amazing matchup, this one.
Yeah, it should be really good. Like we said, the Xtreme jumped off to a great game. The great start. They won 5-3 last week, but it was really a 5-2 game. Stars looking to bounce back. What are you looking forward to?
I mean, I'm so excited to see what the Stars have to offer. Right now, I feel like they're the ones that are really having something to prove. I know speaking with Sammy, he definitely is sick to death of hearing about how good the Xtreme are, and he definitely thinks that they gave away, were his words, that first game. So I know they have a lot to prove, and they're feeling very confident about tonight.
Well, let's recap where those teams are at right now. The Xtreme last week, again, very impressive in their opening game. They did pretty good to get on the board pretty early on. It was Xander Wardlaw and Nathaniel Benson, the dynamic duo, junior kids. They were impressive all last night, and they were creating. Wardlaw driving the net, doing a lot of different things.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, Xander complements Nat's style amazingly. I think they know where each other are without even looking. I think their communication's on point, their stick work's on point, and evidently their shots are on point.
The game did get a little bit physical, and obviously guys like Nat Benson bared the brunt of it, but even in front of the net, banging around at loose pucks, they scored 2 goals exactly like this with big Graham Charbonneau out in front of the net. Noah Maley, one of your favorites from the Jokers Ice Hockey Club, he had a couple goals in the game to really add secondary scoring for the Xtreme.
He did, and it's so good to see someone like Noah. I mean, over the past couple of years, there's no question he's an exceptional player, but I'm just seeing a whole different form of confidence come through in Noah. I mean, even Charbonneau doing all that work, and then Noah just being there, popping it in the back of the net. He is exactly where he is supposed to be, and it's so good to see.
The Brewers did respond in this game, but every time the Brewers asked a question, the Xtreme had an answer. Jamie Woodman helped dictate the pace of play. But even though the Brewers pushed back, the Xtreme ended up finding those couple extra goals just to put this game beyond doubt, and it was from hard work like Joey Mcdougall finding Noah Maley in front of the net again.
Absolutely, and speaking with Joey today, he's very confident about today. Obviously, they'll be missing Woodman, but he knows it's going to be a different type of game after the Brewers, but he is definitely confident coming into this game, and he's very excited.
Last time we saw Jake Riley and the Stars play was 2 weeks ago on opening night, and things went pretty well for them for most of the game. Jake Riley, in fact, scored 35 seconds into the game, but guys like Yohan Levesque, one of the players from Western Australia that came over here, he's born and raised in Quebec, he was dynamic all night, creating. He even scored a goal, and for most of the game, Noarlunga looked like they were kind of in control. They had opportunities to win this game until hearts were broken. They led all throughout the game until the final shot of the game, and this was the final shot of the game. Tomek Sak, Ben Hanberg in all alone. Ball game. Brewers break the backs and the heart of Noarlunga. How do they respond to this game today? I
mean, they definitely have a point to prove. They were no doubt in control for most of that game, in the lead for all of it, but that last fateful 4 seconds. And I think that Coach Sammy Manteri is thinking exactly that. We have something to prove. We're coming out here. Do not discount us for 1 second.
They've had 2 weeks now between training to work on systems. Is that something that you understand they have been working on?
Yeah, that's what Sammy and I were discussing today. They really looked back on those stats, 9 power play opportunities and 0 goals. They had something they definitely wanted to work on in this last 2 weeks, and watching these guys last week probably gave them a great advantage in watching how they play and then adapting their power plays, but we're just going to have to see how it looks.
One of the matchups I cannot wait for is 2 Australian ice hockey legends going against each other. David Huxley, he's on the Xtreme. Josh Harding, he's on the Star. 2 defense partners for years, 12 AIHL seasons together, 7 world championships together, almost 250 AIHL games together. They've won gold medals, Goodall Cups, local hockey. They won a local hockey championship with the Blackhawks not long ago. 2 of the best ever to strap them on the blue line get to go against each other.
Oh, yeah, I know. I'm really keen to see what Hux and what Harding bring out tonight. Obviously, Huxley, they've always lent on each other. They're a very similar type of player, but both of them have had a very long break, and they're playing with brand new teams with guys that are 10, 15 years younger than them, sometimes even more than that. So I'm really keen to see how this dynamic and how it suits the 2 of them coming back to hockey after this break.
That's an interesting point you make about them finding their legs. Let's throw it down, though, to David Muggleton, who's down by the rink. I think he's got David Huxley right now.
Guys, indeed I do. David Huxley. First of all, how are the legs feeling coming out of retirement?
They're horrible, guys. They're really heavy, and I'm really sluggish out there.
I don't think any of the Noarlunga stars are listening, so you're not quite catching them off guard with that one.
Oh, fair enough. No, it's been good. We've had some good training, so we'll see how it goes.
Now, the big story of the game is friend turned frenemy, Harding. How many times have you matched up with him in a high-level setting?
We haven't. So we played maybe when I was 16 against each other, but never anything above that. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes.
All right, 2 questions. First one, what are you dreading?
Oh, just being unfit?
Oh, no, I mean in that matchup.
No, nothing really. I think it's always going to be fun. You want to play against the best players. It makes you a better player. So I'm looking forward to the whole thing.
Well, the second question is what were you looking forward to? But I guess that's the whole thing.
Exactly. Just testing yourself and seeing where you're really at.
Guys, well, we're looking forward to seeing it.
Thanks, guys.
How good is it to see David Huxley back in the lineup, former captain of the Adelaide Adrenaline. Huxley and Harding's numbers have been retired by the club. That's how much they mean. And he said it tongue-in-cheek there. His legs aren't feeling amazing because it's been 3 years away, but surely after a few weeks of training, it starts to come to you again.
Well, you know what? I think it's this 20 minutes of stop time 3 times over. I mean, even some of the young guys have made comments to me that it is just a long time out there, and even the most seasoned players, they're not used to it. And, you got to admire him coming back after all this time and taking that on. Nobody in this state plays that amount of hockey in one night.
One of the storylines I can't wait to watch is the goaltending matchup. We know about Jeremy Friedrich with the Xtreme, but this was the last time we saw star starting goalie Glenn Forbes-White in a hockey game. It was late September, Game 2 of a semifinal series versus the Red Wings, and this awkward collision ended up damaging some ligaments in his knee. He was out. He hadn't skated for just over 2 months, practiced 2 weeks ago. Now he's game ready. It looked awkward when it happened, and Glenn is one of the biggest beauties out there. Glad to see him healthy, but oh man, how would you be feeling if you hadn't played for 2 months and now you have to strap it up in a game here, Justine, as the goalie?
Oh, I know. It's a lot of pressure, and, take nothing away from Jeremy. He's a great goalie, and, there is a lot of pressure there as well. But coming back after injury, I think you're just that little bit more apprehensive. If something goes wrong or something doesn't feel right, it's a long game. It
is the 2 adrenaline goalies, the Australian ones that were on the team. Glenn Forbes-White, kind of the incumbent starting goalie. He's 24 years old, was with the adrenaline. Jeremy Friedrich, that up-and-coming star, won back-to-back championships with the Xtreme. Look at his backup, Cooper Peacock. I love the Mo. But Jeremy Friedrich and Glenn Forbes-White, also great friends turned frenemies, as David Muggleton probably described it.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Glenn is a great guy. Jeremy's a great guy. They're both wonderful guys. They will get along off the ice, but not so much tonight, I think.
We will pause for a moment for the national anthem. Well, the formality's almost out of the way. We'll have a ceremonial puck drop, and we'll be about ready to go. Another big matchup tonight in the theme of friends turned enemies in the game. Jake Riley versus Nathaniel Benson, then 1-2 scorers for the Jokers and in the South Australian Hockey League. Teammates on the Adelaide Adrenaline, only 20 and 21 years old. They're going head-to-head against each other. That will be an interesting one to watch, too.
Absolutely, and there is no doubt about it, they have the cup to prove it. They were the couple last year. They bounced off each other like magnets, and they went all the way, took it in Game 2 in the grand final, and they are undeniably great friends off the ice. So watching them play against each other is going to be something interesting.
Lineup changes tonight. Xtreme have Jamie Woodman out of the lineup. He is back in Perth. Josh Holland makes his NHSL debut. No lineup changes for the Stars. They're going to roll out the same lineup except for Glenn Forbes-White in net, which we talked about earlier, and hope that some of those guys have their legs about them for this 60-minute stop time. So the lines also that we've been given, at least, interestingly enough, absolutely no changes. Those will pop up on screen eventually. So Justine, put your coach's hat on here. How do these lines match up, and do coaches play the matchup game?
Look, it depends on the coach. I know coaching with Jeremy loved to do the matchup. I was a little bit more fluid, and I think that's what you're going to find tonight. Eric will want to match those lines up, and I'm sure Sammy will want to, but he is a more fluid coach. He'll want to sort of jump to the occasion and whatever's going on at the time. But I know for a fact that, we discussed before, there are matchups happening tonight that are going to cross over a little bit as what we understand it exactly.
So the top line of the Stars is Jan Kubik, Jake Riley, and Johan Levesque, two of the marquee players. The highest scoring line on the other team is, Xander Wardlaw, Nathaniel Benson, and Ollie Martin. Who will match up against what? By all reports, Sammy Mantier, the coach of the Stars, wants those two players playing against each other. Eric Lean on the Xtreme would love to see Joey Mcdougall in that hard-working line with Noah Maley and Jared Siemens going against Jake Riley. And that's what we have to start the game. Xtreme and Stars, NHSL game number 3 underway on beautiful Ghana land in Adelaide, South Australia. Eric Bolnar, Justine Ruffino calling all the action for you. Xtreme in white and green, and the Stars in the maroon and black, and we are underway. Joey Mcdougall, the captain of the team, plays it off the boards, and there's Josh Harding, the one that we're all looking forward to see how he goes. He's going to be playing against his friend David Huxley. He was grinding against Jared Siemens, and there's Huxley touching the puck, so both defensemen, superstars of the Australian game, getting into the play early on. Mcdougall plays it back off the boards, picked up by Noah Maley, who swipes it forward, but it's gloved down by the dynamic Jake Riley. He scored on his first shift in the first game. He'll look to do the same thing again, but here comes Jared Siemens. Siemens bounces off Jan Kubik, powers his way to the side, looking for a man in the slot. It skipped over a stick, and racing the other way is Johan Levesque from Quebec, and he has the first shot of the game.
No, it's interesting to see Johan. He's a fantastic player out there. He's comical, he's fun. He gets on that puck like he means it.
Johan Levesque, we had a funny chat with him on the In the Slot panel show that we do on Tuesday. He was a circus performer, believe it or not, riding horses. That's how he came out to Australia, and now he's playing hockey in the NHSL. Long story, but that's the gist of it. Stars swipe this up. It gets blocked down, and they'll try to regather the puck. This is the second line of the team. It's Xander Wardlaw, the Sydney player, young 21-year-old, drops it off for Nathaniel Benson. They played junior teams together, and Wardlaw, who was just out of quarantine last week, said he didn't have his legs about him. He still had 3 points. Banked up the boards, and it's intercepted by Graham Charbonneau, another one of those players that came out of retirement for this league. He's a former OHL junior player with the Peterborough Petes back in Canada. Chip back up on the blue line. Batted down on the right side. Andrew Chen was flying up there. This is to big Ollie Martin, a former goaltender for Team Australia. He's been playing out in the local leagues for the last decade or so, and that's freezed up. But I thought this game might be high-flying. Not the case in the first minute and 12 seconds.
Yeah, they've really matched up, and they're sort of pushing against each other. They're really testing their limits, and, even talking to Showtime today, he actually said that would happen. He said, we're going to probably take the first period to really get to know each other. And, it's not a date on a Saturday night, but they are really testing each other's limits.
Third line's going to go head-to-head. Dean Peterson wins the draw cleanly. Back at the point, long shot through traffic, and scores! It slips through Glenn Forbes-White, and Adelaide are up early.
He just did not see that one on that pad. It was just sitting there. He did save the initial shot. It was definitely there.
Tom Tate took the initial shot, and I think it was tipped in by Dean Peterson.
Yep, definitely there. Just didn't quite get on that quick enough.
Well, that is a tough one for Glenn Forbes-White. I know he was probably a bit anxious, I could imagine. I would be if he hadn't played off an injury for a little bit.
Nice to see an all-Adelaide boy line score a goal, though. See Brandon Taylor getting very excited with Dean Peterson and Stapleton there.
Well, Tom Tate took the shot from the point. And
another Adelaide boy, yep.
That's another Adelaide boy with the Red Wings for a long time. I know he's just got a whole bunch of enthusiasm. A guy that probably pays a lot of attention to detail, Tom Tate. He's a renowned tattoo artist.
He is. He's a very colourful creature, Tom Tate. He definitely is. I heard rumours that he used to go to parties and throw glitter on everybody. So you can imagine out on the ice, he'd be very, very comical.
I know, talking to some of the players on the Xtreme, a guy that they love to have in the room. And that third line that just generated a goal is going right back out there. Goes all the way back to Graham Charbonneau. That's tipped back at the point. Skirmish for it, and it's swatted away by Andrew Stapleton. First goal of the game was going to be very important for both of the teams. And it only took 1 minute and 20 seconds for the Xtreme to find the back of the net. Andrew Chen gets dumped in the corner, and a good forecheck from the Stars almost creates a turnover. Taylor just chips it forward, and skating after this is Dean Peterson, as the rest of his line mates will go for a change. Jake Hazel, young up-and-coming defenseman. Boy, has he been impressive the last couple years in the local leagues. Most people won't have seen him in the AIHL, but I think yet is the key word. Jared Siemens, a Canadian, up the center of the ice, right side, goal line, down low, back behind, skates it all the way around into the slot and has a shot. It ricocheted a little bit wide, and it's all the way back to the point. Jordan Geyer trying to keep this cycle alive for the Xtreme. They're a very systematic approach in game number 1, and they're looking the same in game 2. The Stars have a lot of game breakers, though, but a good job of holding the line for the Xtreme. Noah Maley causing all kinds of problems, just like he did last game, to keep that puck alive, and it's swiped in by Jake Riley. That's swatted in behind the net. Geyer gets tangled up with Johan Levesque. Picked up again by David Huxley. 261 AIHL games. Left side, Ollie Martin bounces off one. Martin on the sharp angle. Couldn't quite settle the puck down. And going all the way to grab that is Marko Komazek, who plays this forward. Johan Levesque racing against it. It's icing waved off. Levesque tied up against David Huxley. Huxley comes away with it. He'll skate it out on the left side and work his way up the ice. Banks it off to Ollie Martin. Looking for a man. He finds Benson, back to Wardlaw, and in behind, back behind the goal. The Stars will take this away with Ryan Full. Ryan Full, one of the leading goal scorers in the local competition too. He's on his back foot here playing behind. Skates around his own teammate, Dave Dump Truck Madsen. Plays it up. It's a foot race for it, and Zach Steele wins it. Steele, sharp angle in the slot. Oh, and that one just went wide. The first dangerous-looking opportunity for the Stars comes on the stick of Zach Steele, who's working away in the corner for it once again. Steele plays it off to Full. Full jamming away with it. Either on the line with Kyle Collier, a converted inline player. Peterson chips it off into the neutral zone, and Josh Harding racing for it, working against Xander Wardlaw. Wardlaw gets tricked out by a little bit by Josh Harding, who stops on the dime in vintage form with the puck too hot to handle for Kyle Collier. Back battling down low is Dean Peterson. He's already got 1 goal today. He puts it off the side of the cage. Xtreme go for a change rather, and Brandon Taylor almost created a chance. Harding up the center of the ice. It's knocked away by Andrew Stapleton. They'll have played against each other over the years. Charbonneau working against his former teammate in Josh Harding with the adrenaline. Chen gets hit hard by Boyd. Long shot in from the point. Rebound down low. Boyd battling away for a minute. And this big line of Luke Harding, Tyson Boyd, and Jarrett Mcdougall getting involved early on.
Really good to see the Stars finally taking some offensive shots. I mean, so close a couple of times on those plays, and really nice fluid work by Steele down low. You had Harding commandeering it in there. This is a really good little matchup. It's starting to turn into a game here.
This is a line, Justine, that the last game, I know you were saying you were looking for that physical presence from this line.
Absolutely. And you know what? Tyson and Charbonneau, that's a great physicality matchup if you want one.
There's Tyson Boyd. Good friends off the ice, those two, too. And Tyson Boyd tries to play it forward. It's chipped ahead by Noah Maley. He's becoming a bit of a pest in the thorn of the side of a few different teams. Mcdougall stops, leads Maley ahead, and it's swiped into the corner by Glenn Forbes-White. Dropped by Siemens. Maley trying to power to the net. It goes all the way back to the point. Shot through traffic, tipped down low. Tom Tate was looking for another one as it rattled away.
Really good form by Glenn on that one as well. I mean, that went through a little bit of traffic, but he was right there in front of it.
Glenn Forbes-White trying to work his way back in the game.
The Stars are making it a little bit harder for them now. I think they're starting to find their feet. The shots are becoming a little bit wider, a little bit less on target.
Well, there's the Joey Mcdougall, Noah Maley line going up against Jan Kubik and Jake Riley. Only 2 shots to 1 in the game. We've seen some pretty high shot volume contests early in the season. And here's a turnover. Joey Mcdougall on the backhand scores! Showtime! The Xtreme are up 2-0.
And that is showtime to a T. It was pretty, it was quick, and you just can't give that guy that amount of space. That's too much space. Joey Showtime Mcdougall has done it again. You can't leave that guy alone.
Well, the Xtreme said they wanted to get a lead early, and it was a turnover created by Jared Siemens. And the Xtreme are off to a picture-perfect start on their end. Now we see how the Stars respond. And it's a turnover right away. They're going back the other direction. Ryan Full almost created an opportunity. Settled down at the point by Kyle Collier. Full tries to flick it down low to Zach Steele. Benson working against him. And helping out is Andrew Chen, who plays it around the boards. Graham Charbonneau finds Andrew Chen. He can skate well, too. Dishes it to the left side for Ollie Martin, and he'll just play it in behind the goal. Xander Wardlaw looking for the puck. It rattles off his stick, kept in by the Xtreme. Chip down low from Chen, and he gets the return pass, scores! Andrew Chen, and it's a 3-0 game.
I don't think Dump Truck liked that very much either. He's not happy at all. Oh, that was a fantastic setup by the Xtreme. So fluid, not even really looking in that back slot. They're just in the right places, finding each other so well. In the back, frontwards, and that's, yeah, he just didn't have him. He had him in front, but I mean, he had him behind, but definitely not in front. He still had full control of the stick. There it goes.
Give and go with Andrew Chen and Nathaniel Benson, and there's Dave Dump Truck Madsen.
He wasn't happy. Yeah, I thought that straight away. I would not be happy either, Dump. Don't worry.
Well, this is a nightmare start for the Stars, and they're going to take a timeout. It looks like having a word over at the bench, but goals from Peterson, Mcdougall, and Chen. And this is not, I do not think this is how the Stars envision things going on, because not only was a goal scored by Chen, but Madsen takes a penalty, and now it's 3-0, and the Xtreme are right to the power play.
Yeah, and I think, you know, Sammy, being who he is, I don't think he's happy, but I think he is going to make changes. I think we're going to see some change up here, because I think the Stars are close, but they just don't have that execution the way the Xtreme do right now.
Intercepted at the line as the Xtreme tried to set up their power play opportunities. Ollie Martin plays it back to David Huxley. A 3-0 game so far in the contest. Benson works out onto the left side. Benson down low, in behind the goal, trying to set something up at the point. It's intercepted. Trying to be cleared by Jake Hazel, but it was blocked by an Xtreme player and goes back to the point. Whipped across. Jordan Geyer looking for a shot. Oh, that one had some eyes. It just missed a little bit up high, and it's chipped out, but short-handed. Here comes Jan Kubik on a sharp angle. Kubik tries to go down low, and Jeremy Friedrich makes the save. The Xtreme were 2 for 4 in game number 1 on the power play.
I think we're going to see a couple more of those passes. Jan coming out there. That was a really, really good setup. I'd like to see Jake do a few of those this game.
Stars were shorthanded 11 times in game number 1. And a shot, oh my goodness, it was almost 4-0. Xander Wardlaw put it off the post, but now a breakaway. Johan Levesque trying to get the Stars back into it. Down low, scores!
He's got it.
Short-handed, Johan Levesque puts some life back in the Stars.
Theatrical as always. It was completely on target. It was pretty, and the one unhappy right now is Jeremy Friedrich. He is not impressed at all. Not happy. That's that pass we were just talking about. Just got in front of the man, and he's behind the D, and he's gone. Beautiful backhand there. Exactly on target.
It looked like Josh Harding got that puck up there.
Well, those D, they were stamped on the line, and Johan just got behind him, and once he was away, he was away. He even had Riley there, just in case anything went wrong.
Well, the Stars were 0 for 9 on the power play in game number 1. They were 11 for 11 killing penalties, and that Stars special teams showing up big time early on. They get a short-handed mark, and here comes Josh Harding, short-handed again, gets around Andrew Chen, gets him to chase and overskate, and Josh Harding still playing the puck, and it's picked up by Noah Maley, who banks it in behind the goals. Grabbed once again by Andrew Chen. About 10 seconds to go in the power play. It doesn't look like they're going to find a way through the back of the net with the man advantage, but the Stars did, and they made it a 3-1 game. An interesting start to this one.
It's going to get physical, I reckon. You've got some great players out there, some really experienced players out there. I think you're going to see some physicality to see who can be pushed.
All the way back to Huxley, who finds Showtime Mcdougall off to the right side. Shot on goal from Peterson, and Glenn Forbes-White gets the pad down and makes the save. Chip back in towards the neutral zone. Settled down by Huxley. Played off the boards. Grabbed by Peterson and in back behind the goal. Stapleton trying to race in for the forecheck, but Connor Smith plays it around the boards, but not out. Tipped in by Dean Peterson. Hit again off the backboards. Grinding down low and throws it in front of the net, and it was almost tipped away. Josh Holland was touching the puck for his first time in his NHSL career. Connor Smith battling against Stapleton. Chips it back out. Peterson throws one in on net, and a big hit by the Stars, and they'll take it going the other direction. Working in front of the net, and a lob pass on the backhand. Jared McDonough with the play. Back down low, and a couple players tangled up. Tyson Boyd working against Dean Peterson. Boyd now having some shots at him, and he's just turtling away. Peterson doesn't want to go. And Tyson Boyd going after him. Some feistiness happening early on. Peterson not happy about it. I have no idea what they're going to call this.
Tyson is not a player to walk away. If he's got something to say, you will hear it. And I think Dean is hearing it. Look, it was a bit of a bump in the back. The stick was up in the air, but I think it was just they stood there a little bit too long tussling, and Tyson just thought, you know what, stuff it. That's it. I'm going for it.
Well, I don't know. I think this might just be a penalty that's going against Tyson Boyd. There was no penalty called initially, and Tyson Boyd might just be getting an instigating or a roughing call. No, there's a penalty being put on the board for the Xtreme. Be very curious to see how this one's officiated. It's a 5-minute major put on the board for Tyson Boyd.
See, this is interesting because last game, with everything that happened with Xander Wardlaw and Reece Boundy, we see a bit of a shift here where, if someone doesn't want to fight, we do have to take that into consideration when reffing. But these are 4 of the best refs we've seen so far. I'm sure that they'll come to the right decision. There's no one more experienced than Glenn Foll, and if he's making the call, then I'm sure it's right. It's
going to be a major penalty called against Tyson Boyd, and it's going to be 2 minutes put on the board for Dean Peterson. So it'll be 2 minutes 4-on-4, and then, no, that's being taken off the board completely. So I think it's going to be a 5+2, so coincidental roughings, and then a 5-minute major. The Xtreme can score as many times as they want on a major penalty. That does not end if they score a goal. The Xtreme have a chance early on to put on some big numbers.
The Stars definitely talked about how they've been working on their special teams, and I mean, there's no time like the present. They're going to have to be working them for 5 minutes.
They did score a shorthanded goal a couple minutes ago.
So maybe this is they're doing them a favor.
Peterson, Mcdougall, and Chen, and now they were the goal scorers. Levesque scored a shorty, and now the Xtreme have a huge opportunity, a 5-minute major. Jordan Geyer at the point, shot through traffic, blocked down, looking for the rebound, and it's tipped away, and the Stars trying to clear. Jake Riley going in against David Huxley, and Huxley gives him a look and gets Jake Riley to retreat. Huxley leaves this off for Nathaniel Benson. If anything, the Xtreme can afford to be patient here, and Benson, a nice move, walks in, tries to go short side. It goes all the way around, and it's picked up by the Stars. Kubik cuts his way in. Look at the stick handling from Jan Kubik. He had 4 Xtreme players around him. He'll just dump it in, and he'll get the quick change. Justine, when you're shorthanded for 5 minutes, what's the strategy here?
Oh, you've got to have a good rotation system. And I mean, in terms of running a power play, you can't even have, 2 lines. You need at least 3 or 4 combinations that you can use. And I think Sammy has that.
Rebound in front of the net. Glenn Forbes-White has to get down and make the save. Goal. No goal. It was waved off by the referees, but a dangerous opportunity in front.
Good form from Glenn on that one, though. Really good form.
Well, Glenn Forbes-White, first game back from injury, allows 3 goals on the first 6 shots. Now he's got to go against a 5-minute shorthanded spurt here. That can't be easy for him. Mcdougall settling in. Wins the draw. Right side. Maley. He's got Johan Levesque all over him. Johan Levesque was fired up for this hockey game. He's tried to get his team back in it with a shorthanded goal, and he's out there killing the penalty again. Chen, dip down low. Mcdougall shot on net. Rebound in the slot. Komazek trying to clear. They're swiping away at it. It finally goes in the corner, but Jared Siemens, who's got an assist already, touches up with a puck. Siemens works around the hash marks. Back to Chen. Chen has this tipped away. Zach Steele trying to get the puck back, and it's just Siemens who safely steers it over to Captain Joey Mcdougall. Chip forward. Maley battling in the corner, looking for a call.
I think a stick might have got a bit stuck there in that corner, unfortunately. But it was a really good matchup looking in front of the net. You've got Komazek and Charbonneau. I mean, those are big guys. And if Graham wants to get in front of that net, he will. But Marco's maybe 20 years younger nearly, but stands 6'5". So if you're looking for some matchups in front of the net to put some pressure on Glenn, it's not a bad one.
Draw one, shot for the point. Geyer, and a big toe save from Glenn Forbes-White. Geyer getting trigger happy. He's shooting a lot, and he's got a good shot to do it. You've seen that a lot with the Jokers before.
Oh, absolutely. These guys, they can shoot. They're not just pretty, they are very accurate.
So the first 2 minutes of the penalty are killed. There's still 3 to go on the 5-minute major to Tyson Boyd. And a big hit on Nathaniel Benson as he enters the zone. The Stars manage just to squeeze the puck out of the zone.
I love that from the Stars. They're really showing camaraderie. They're really standing up. They're not letting them in.
So the draw will come just outside the zone. But the Xtreme with their early 3 goals, Peterson, Mcdougall, and Chen. Johan Levesque scored shorthanded. And the draw will come just outside, or just to the left of Glenn Forbes-White. Mcdougall wins the draw, faces it back off to the left side. Graham Charbonneau was playing in front of the net. Now he's playing at the left point. Long time to be on special teams here. They've been shorthanded for 22 minutes entering this game. Now 24 minutes and soon to be 29 minutes, the Stars. Their penalty kill's been good, but this is a big test, and Glenn Forbes-White, he's going to have to be their best penalty killer. He steers that aside into the corner. Joey Mcdougall grabs it, dumps it down low. Back to Mcdougall. Mcdougall, slap shot from the point. Rebound in the slot, battling away. Glenn Forbes-White pounces all over that in the first 3 minutes. Killed off on the power play. Well, Justine, we're lucky enough to have a couple stats experts. We're going to bring in Lockie Cahill. He's got our stat check for us. Lockie, what have you noticed in the game so far?
Yeah, right now the Xtreme won 11 face-offs to 2 to the Stars.
11 to 2.
Yeah, so Nat Benson's actually won every single face-off of his, and Joey's only lost 1 so far.
That is a huge way to control possession off the top. So 11 to 2 in the face-off circles. They win another, so it's 12 to 2 as it goes all the way down. Any other trends you got there, Lockie?
Right now the lines are a bit the same. So Jake Riley trying to verse Nat Benson, but Nat Benson is always jumping off so they can get Joey Mcdougall onto Jake.
So the line matchup game, very strong so far. Might be being won by the Xtreme early on.
I think Eric Lean is getting what he wants at this point, and it's evident on the scoreboard as well.
That face-off stat's astounding. 12 to 2 now.
The control you would have winning almost every single face-off in a game just cannot be put into words.
The Xtreme did draft 6 centers, but I think Josh Harding is going to get a penalty here for checking from behind. Nathaniel Benson went down. Harding doesn't like it, but look, they had a 5-minute penalty, and they've just taken another one. It's going to be a 5-on-3 for a minute 23. Well, there it is behind the play.
Yeah. Look, you know what? They've got some big guys on the Stars. They're trying to get back into this game. They're going to push and shove a little bit to get in their heads. And I mean, yeah, look, you know what? It's a strategy. Don't know if it's going to work. Let's see. So
there's still 4 on the ice. It should be a 5-on-3. Jake Hazel going off. So a 5-on-3, and probably their best penalty killer in Josh Harding off the ice. The Xtreme, huge opportunity. Geyer plays it off to the right side, swiped forward by Jake Riley. It cleared the zone. It's touched up, so they'll get a draw outside of there. My goodness. The Stars killed off 11 penalties in game one. This is the third one they're going to have to kill off already, including a 5-minute major and a 5-on-3. That was not what they drew up.
No, definitely not. And you know what? I do think that they have been working on their special teams, but I can also see Jake Riley, he's got his wheels on. I could see him looking for the break here. This is still a scoring opportunity when Jake Riley is on the ice.
Played back into the neutral zone. Huxley settles it down, plays it forward. Tangled up was Xander Wardlaw, and Hux will take the puck, slow it down. They got 60 more seconds of 5-on-3. Huxley left side, batted down by Nathaniel Benson and into the corner. A Stars player is there first. They can't get possession though. Finally played off the boards by Jan Kubik. Ollie Martin scored last week. Plays it to the point, and there's that dangerous Jake Riley. 5-on-3, short-handed, and Riley dangles sharp side, and Friedrich makes the play. And now going the other way, it's a 3-on-2 opportunity for the Xtreme. Huxley carries it in, drops it for Wardlaw. Wardlaw shot, blocked in front of the net. Huxley goes back down low. Huxley in the slot. Benson, backhanded play, swiped in front, and it's going to be carried out by Jan Kubik, who finds Jake Riley. And Riley will just flutter this towards Jeremy Friedrich.
Every time he is on the ice, it wouldn't matter if it was 1-on-5, he is a force.
Well, the Xtreme have killed off the 5-minute major. That's checkmark number 1. They've scored a shorthanded goal, and now they've got 37 seconds to go. What a special teams performance, even though they're down 3-1. Charbonneau tries to carry it in. He's cut off by Jake Hazel, and Hazel plays it off the boards over Andrew Chen's stick, and it's back to the blue line. Mcdougall, right side. Levesque was back there to back check. He created a turnover, but Chen was there to intercept for the team in white, the Adelaide Xtreme. Played into the corner. Maley gets on his horse. He tries to get there, but the Stars rather take it away. Ryan Foll chips it forward, and it was a 5-minute major and then a 5-on-3, but the Stars have killed off both. They even scored a shorthanded goal.
If they can do what they just did with 3, I think that when they find themselves with 5, we're going to see a very interesting game come out of this.
Let's see if the Stars can use that momentum and try to get themselves right back in it. They trail by 2 after a very shaky start. Chen back behind the net, left side. He was looking for Graham Charbonneau. Charbonneau lobs it forward. It goes over the stick of Andrew Stapleton. Steele plays it forward, back to Charbonneau. Simple pass right in front of the benches. Played forward by the goal scorer, Dean Peterson. Skirmish forward on the blue line as the physicality starts to increase just a little bit. Peterson drops it off to Stapleton. Stapleton, a diving Zach Steele, loose puck in front, battle for it. Peterson jamming away at it, and Glenn Forbes-White gets the pads down and makes the save.
Those are the ones that are going to make Glenn a bit nervous. That's exact same way he injured his knee in that last game in the finals. You've got to clear those men out. If you don't do that, he could be injured in the exact same way he was.
How's the officiating crew out here tonight? I know you mentioned it earlier, but Dave Gall out there, Joey Rezick out there, Glenn Foll out there.
There's a lot of experience in stripes tonight, no doubt about it.
These are all guys that Dave Gall's doing the linesman job. He doesn't do that very often these days. He's normally got the orange armband around.
Take nothing away from it. Being a linesman for an NHSL game would be a job and a half. You'd have to have someone very experienced, someone very fast to do it, and I think Dave would be in great condition to do it.
Referee's taking a look at some work on the far blue line. Draw one, trying to carry it out here on his knees. Wardlaw swoops it to the net. Ollie Martin was standing there. He couldn't bank it in. Martin battling away, back behind the goal. Centering play. Wardlaw jammed away with it, and Glenn Forbes-White's got the pads down a lot in this period. He was shaky to start, but he's been instrumental in killing off those last few penalties. And back the other direction, leading ahead. And I think we're going to get... Nope, it was just an offside call. I thought we had a penalty. We don't. Here we go. Jared McDonald enters the zone, plays it back. Nobody there in particular, except it's a 2-on-1 going the other way. Benson with Martin. Benson tries to jag around, and it was a big stop by the Stars defenseman, and they'll go the other direction. Harding lobs one at net. It goes wide. Benson picks it up on the far boards and tries to wheel up into the neutral zone. Chipped by David Huxley down in behind the goal. Then grabbed once again. Picked up in the corner. The Stars draped all over them, looking for something. It was Jake Riley. Plays it up to the left side, Jan Kubik. Killer combination, the two marquee players. Stars haven't spent a lot of time 5-on-5 this period. 9 minutes in penalties already in this one. But no short-handed goals allowed. But Joey Mcdougall, he's got one. He tries to go up high for number 2.
Man, he is quick, Mcdougall. Once he gets the wheels going, I mean, he blew past Komazek on that one. And, you know, lucky it just went a little bit wide on that one.
Joey Mcdougall had a big season with the Tigers in the local competition.
Yeah, he's actually Glenn Forbes White's teammate in the local season. So when chatting with him earlier, he said he's very excited that Glenn's back, but he is going to pop a couple pucks past him anyway.
Charbonneau with the puck down low, and Glenn Forbes White gets the pads down. And here come Zach Steele working on the left side. He's got Ambrose Foster with him going towards the net. Steele powers his way. It was tipped off Ryan Full's stick and into the corner. Backhanded down. Kept in by Komazek. Foster lobs one at net. Cleared away by Jeremy Friedrich. Picked up once again. Right side. Played down low, and this one might go down for icing. It's not going to get there. Ryan Full has to skate back and grab it. Xtreme scored the first 3 goals of the game, but a short-handed goal. And then some great special teams have given the Stars some life.
Has been a while since their last goal, though, and these games are long. And from a player perspective, at this point, it is still anyone's game. 2 goals is still 2 goals at the end of the day.
Well, remember, it was 3-1, and then it was a 5-minute major penalty the Stars took. The Xtreme had a power play for 5 minutes, and then at one stage had a 5-on-3 for a couple minutes in there, and they couldn't score. That would feel like a win for the Stars because they were staring down the barrel of a 4-1, 5-1 deficit.
Absolutely, and I think they needed that. They needed that momentum just to let them know they're in this.
Huxley holds the line. Right side, Benson gives it back to Wardlaw, and Wardlaw goes down in the corner to get to work. Looking for a man in front of the net. Chipped off. Riley sent it down to Levesque, and on his knees, a pretty play. To the right side, Kubik, and Jeremy Friedrich flashes the leather.
What an amazing pass by Levesque there. I mean, on his knees, still sees Jan there and just makes it work. But Jeremy Friedrich, in fine form as always, straight to the glove.
That one looks cool on the replay.
He makes it look cool, I think, Jeremy. That pass by Levesque, though, I can't get over that. He's not even facing the net. He just sees Jan and he's like, yep, there we go.
How's Jan Kubik staying on side? Chip back out. Stars keep it there. If they can get a goal late here in the last 80 seconds or so, I'll tell you what, it gets things interesting. Now a battle for it in the corner once again. It's Jai Sarcic working down there.
Definitely interesting to see Sarcic with guys like Harding.
Down low. Siemens cuts to the center of the ice. Fires one down. Tipped by Mcdougall. He's looked dangerous. Glenn Forbes White is down. Trying to find the puck. It's still loose in front. Swiping at its Maley. Maley pushing it forward and finally gloved by Noarlunga, who play it out to safety. Jake Riley, though, creates a turnover. It's a 2-on-1 the other way. Riley trying to find Hazel, who's going to the net. And Joey Mcdougall back there to intercept. Lobbed in front. Riley down low. Jeremy Friedrich makes a big save and still behind him. And Friedrich held the line, and he makes a save on a good friend, Jake Riley.
That was a great play. I mean, Jake knew the pass was a bit off, but they made it work. It got back to Jake. They really are making lemonade. When lemons come along, they are making it work. They are figuring out how to get it to the next person if they're, well, in Levesque's case, on their knees. Jake's case, pass a little bit wide, but they're making it work, and they are going to find their goals.
I'd love to see that one on replay, because that was just another weird sequence with a little turnover back at the blue line.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? The unsung hero in that one, I think, was Hazel. He settled it down over here when the pass was a bit long. He got it back to Riley, albeit a little bit bobbly, but he's going through 2 guys to get that pass back to Jake. Here it is right here. Hazel gets it back, bobbles through 2 guys, and there's Jake, but it's just Jeremy Friedrich again.
It was underneath Friedrich the whole time, wasn't it?
Yeah, from what I could see, definitely. But again, we have some excellent men in stripes that will tell us exactly what happened.
You didn't have it. I don't think we had an angle. I don't think that was in. It looked under Jeremy Friedrich. We'll see if we can pull up the replay again. Goes all the way back. Battle for it. And played by Huxley off to the left side. Picked up by Zach Steele. Zach Steele with some power. He's skating well tonight, Zach Steele, and Jeremy Friedrich goes down. That was the delay in the play before. The Stars were questioning the referees whether that went in the net, because I don't think Jeremy Friedrich really realized where it was. Here's the play again. Friedrich thinks it's under, and there it is, under his right pad.
I think Jeremy knows he has it, he just doesn't quite know where.
So he was calling for the whistle when he was putting the hand up?
I reckon, yep. No, it definitely wasn't in his hand, so I think he was just calling for the whistle.
That's a good look at the replay by the production crew here to get that behind the goal camera. That's a good one. Sharp angle shot, jammed on the side of it again. Noah Maley just in the center of action. And that will do it for the first period. The Xtreme scored 3 goals in the first 6 minutes. They also had a 5-minute man advantage on the major penalty, a 5-on-3. It looked like it could be a blowout early, but the Stars score a shorthanded goal from Johan Levesque and kill everything else off. And all of a sudden, Noarlunga head to the dressing room, getting dominated, and it might be okay. Let's go down to the ice with Dave Muggleton.
Hi guys, I'm here with Johan. Okay, 3-0 against the Xtreme, probably not where you wanted to be to start things off. Then you've got a monster 5-minute penalty to kill down. The shorthanded goal, was it just opportunity, or was it like, we got to score wherever we can, so let's attack it?
A little bit of both. I feel like, it was a bouncing puck. The puck went up in the air, and I just took my wheels and go. You have to take those chances when they come, and it gives us a lot of energy for the second period, definitely.
Now, are we expecting to try and keep the Xtreme from scoring again? Just got to get 2-3 to win it? Or are we kind of looking like, we're probably going to need to score about 5 goals in this game now?
Well, I feel like it's just to follow the process ultimately, like we have a really talented team. The goals will come. I feel we just have to get a little tighter in D and just make sure that, the puck doesn't go to our goalie, and after that, we have so much talent in our team. We can score goals.
All right, looking forward to it.
Thank you very much, man.
Well, Justine, what do you make of that first period? It was a weird one.
It was, and just bearing back to my thoughts with Joey today having a discussion, he was absolutely right. They had to sort of get a feel for each other first, and I think the Xtreme sort of got their ideas first and they ran with them. But the Stars did come back. 14 minutes of stop-time hockey without a goal from the Xtreme. That does mean something. The Stars have figured it out.
And you were shorthanded for 9 of those minutes.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? If they've been working on their special teams, I believe them. Because 3-on-5 is a big one. And in stop time, that is forever. So I think they're doing a really, really good job. I'd love to see them fight it back. But, you got to also look at Jeremy. They've had opportunities, but it's been Jeremy.
So are you going to the room feeling positive for the Stars, or are you feeling a bit down?
Look,
or is it neutral?
Look, at this level, and I think knowing Sammy the way I know Sammy, there is probably going to be some stern words, I would say. There'll be some, I have expectations, and there will be some, come on boys, we've got to find our feet. But you know what? They're putting things in place. Things are getting better as they go.
Well, we'll look forward to the second period. We're going to head to a clip of the In the Panel show. We had Xander Wardlaw, Tom McSack, and Johan Levesque, the Interstate boys, playing in the competition. You can check out the full episode on YouTube. But let's head to that, and we'll see you for the second. Welcome back to the Ice Arena on beautiful Ghana land. The Xtreme have a 3-1 lead over the Stars. They opened the scoring early on. Look, earlier I said it was Tom Tate that had the assist. I apologize so much in the moments to Jai Sarcic. It was his shot from the point. Got the numbers confused. Tom Tate wears 22 in Prem. Sarcic wears 22 here. But then Joey Mcdougall, just a couple minutes later, a nifty backhanded goal. Showtime! Getting it done. Puts the Xtreme up 2-0. That was off a turnover that Jared Siemens caused against the Stars. They made it a 3-0 game just moments later, and it was Nat Benson that connected to Andrew Chen. They scored to make it 3-0. Dave Madsen took a penalty after. The Stars then scored a shorthanded goal, and then they went shorthanded a few more times. They were down on a 5-minute disadvantage. A major penalty was taken. Here's a look again at the Showtime goal. And then they killed off another penalty after that. It was 5-on-3, so their penalty kill looking really, really good. But the Stars, Justine Ruffino, look, they could have been out of this game.
Absolutely, they could have. And you know what? Looking at the stats from the first half of that first period, you would think they might have been, but they did improve on their face-offs. You know, Nat Benson, 8 for 8 in face-offs, 100% victory rating. You do not see that very often, and that is not a man I would be replacing in that position anytime soon. But they are taking a little bit more control of the Stars. They're slowly working their way back in, and this is a long game. I think they've got some time. They've got some momentum. It's going to be a good one.
Had a good chat with the coaching staff as we get underway with period number 2, Xtreme vs. Stars. Sammy Mantier and Jason Karutz, and they said it kind of feels like a lease on a whole new game. They were down 3-0. They were short-handed a few times, down 5 on 3. The Xtreme could have put this one away, but the Stars have a long way to go in this one, and they can still win this one. You win the next 2 periods, you have a good chance at winning the hockey game, so this is a long way from being over.
Absolutely, and that first game they played against the Brewers, I think the Brewers probably were in this same position, and they took away the game. So nobody's out of the running here, not by a long shot.
Joey Mcdougall plays this in behind the goal. He scored that nice one. You saw that on the replay. It takes a weird skip off of the boards, and Nathaniel Benson keeps it in. He was looking for Wardlaw. This is the matchup that I think Sammy Mantier wanted, Benson versus Riley. Didn't see that too much in the first period. Probably the Xtreme trying to take that one away.
Absolutely, and you know, Eric Leon putting Showtime out there to play against Jake, not a bad move at all. Showtime is very experienced. He's got about 10 years on Riley, and I think that he's more than capable of shutting him down.
Zach Steele will take the draw. Ambrose Foster playing up on this line. It's a clean win from the Xtreme. Andrew Chen chips it down low. Backhanded play, Wardlaw smothered by Glenn Forbes-White. Shaky start in the first period, but he really did settle down towards the end of that period. Definitely.
And Nat, again, another face-off win. He is still at 100%. Let's see if he stays that way again against Zach Steele. Ooh, tough one.
A draw? You call that one a draw?
Bit of a tough one there.
They tangled up in there. It was a better effort from the Stars, at least, as it's chipped out into the neutral zone all the way down. It will just get by for another offensive zone face-off. 75% was the number that the Xtreme won of face-offs in game number 1, and they've obviously started off great in period number 1 in this game. When you start with the puck, the game becomes so much easier when you have possession, doesn't it?
Absolutely, and you know, that's something I heavily emphasize as a coach, but I also heavily emphasize the use of the defense. But when you've got shooters like Nat Benson right there.
Sean Dello scores! Wardlaw found the puck at Glenn Forbes' feet. And the Xtreme have made it 4-1.
The same Wardlaw-Benson story again and again, and this is starting to look like a theme. So unfortunate for Forbes-White. He saved that first one off that excellent play. Wardlaw off the face-off to Benson. Benson with the shot. Forbes with the save and just moves a little bit over to the left, and the puck is right there for Wardlaw to bury it. Nathaniel
Benson with his 2nd assist of the game. Wardlaw gets on the score sheet. That's his 4th point of the year. So Xander Wardlaw with his 2nd goal of the NHSL season. And an early goal again, just like they did in the first period. The Xtreme back in command, up by 3 goals. Friedrich dumps it off. Sarcic playing down in the corner. He has a man draped all over him. Luke Harding, the one banging away in the corner, working with Tyson Boyd, trying to come away with the puck. It's a couple big bodies playing down there. Dean Peterson back behind the goal, goes off of a plate. Tyson Boyd settles it down, rifles one just a little bit wide. Played back around the corner again, and it is frozen.
Yeah, that corner's a killer.
A couple saw a stick get stuck there in the first period.
I thought someone might have broken a blade.
Well, almost at identical time, just 1 minute and 20 seconds into periods, they've got goals.
That was an absolutely amazing setup, though. Just we were talking about face-offs. That goal was straight off of one.
4 goals from 4 different goal scorers for the Xtreme. They're looking like a very balanced unit out there. Off the right side once again. Played back behind the goal. Xtreme, Jordan Geyer Again, a funny skip off of it, and Jake Hazel has to retreat, and he gives it right away to David Huxley. Up over the ice, fires one at Glenn Forbes-White, takes it in the chest, and he makes a save he absolutely had to make.
Absolutely. And, you know, one thing we haven't actually touched on yet is the other Benson. We've got brothers playing against each other tonight. Number 6, Timothy Benson, younger brother of Nathaniel Benson, the hot shot player from the Xtreme, playing against his little brother, playing as a defenseman for Noarlunga Stars.
Joey Mcdougall wins the draw, fires it back at Glenn Forbes-White, was looking low, and Noah Maley again was lurking in front of the net.
Glenn is still very much in this game. He's very focused.
Still a long way to go. 20 minutes stop time with 37:23 to go. Well, face-offs continue to be a theme in the Xtreme. Had possession of it, but Nathaniel Benson just couldn't get a stick as Andrew Chen plays it back to Benson. Benson, left side, Ollie Martin leading it wide. Down towards the net. Player was crashing hard into the net. Xander Wardlaw took a tumble. He gets his way back up. Always awkward watching the player crash into it like this. Good look at it on the replay.
Lucky these two are good friends.
Just took a nosedive. Well, there's Connor Smith. Changed his number to number 5 in honor of his mate Kyle Clark. Everyone's mate Kyle Clark. Left side. Here's Benson again, charging towards the net. It was tipped away by Komazek. Backhanded play. Blocked by Komazek in front of the net. And he'll try to chip it out, but he can't. Martin plays it back behind the goal, and Connor Smith is there. Caroms it around the boards, and it goes all the way out, and skating past this is Zach Steele, who tried to take it away from Andrew Chen, and Steele will go to the forecheck. Whips it out to Ryan Full. Full in front of that. Puck settled down. Kyle Collier had a bat on it, but he swung and missed, and Xander Wardlaw tries to go the other direction. Benson gives this away to Ryan Full. Full enters the zone. He was a touch offside.
They're still gaining the zone really well, the Stars. Especially, you got to take your hat off to Zach Steele. He's gaining a lot of space.
You saw that play down the left line. He's got the feet moving, Zach Steele. Sammy Mantier, the head coach, said he wanted to unleash the power of Zach Steele with this offense. He's got an assist, Zach Steele. Unleashing still to come. Jeremy Friedrich settles it down. Goes off the stick awkwardly of Tyson Boyd. Player takes a tumble, and Dean Peterson caroms it around the boards. Settled down again by the Stars, trying to hold the line, but they just can't hold on. Peterson goes up the center of the ice once again. Stapleton working on the right side. Dangerous play in front. Peterson trying to knock it down. Taylor was around the mark too, and it's scooped up behind the net by Stapleton. Taylor banging away in the corner, working against Josh Harding, who evades 2 Xtreme players and plays it up the right side of the ice. And here goes Quinton Tomlinson. Tomlinson enters the zone, backhand play down low. Tyson Boyd, quick shot. That goes off a stick and into the corner, and the Xtreme will outlet, and they'll play it back towards the center. It'll skate all the way down, and the Stars will earn themselves an offensive zone face-off on this rare moment in the game.
Really well done by the veterans. Dump truck Madsen down low, keeping the net clear. You had Harding there on the boards, basically intimidating everybody who went near him. That was a really good way for them to leave the zone. They had a lot of control, forced the Xtreme into an icing.
There hasn't been a whole lot of 5-on-5 hockey we've seen in the last few periods now from the Stars. They'll try to settle their way in the game. They were down 3, then they were down 2. Now they're down 3 once again as Jake Riley dumps this back behind him, wheeling around, tip shot in front. And I think there's a penalty coming up, and the Stars are going to go to the power play. Jake Riley dipsy-doos his way to the right. Riley gets it off to the point. Benson gives it to the left side. Back to Benson at the point. Benson through traffic. It was tipped in front, and Jeremy Friedrich does a good job of holding on to that on the tip shot from Johan Levesque. But now the Stars, who are 0 for 9 in game number 1, they're going to get a call go their way and head to the power play.
Yeah, it'll be great to see how these special teams are working out for the Stars. We haven't seen their PP.
Not today.
And it's one of those things they have been working on, and their PK is looking really good. They had to test that out early on, so I'm excited to see.
Their power play was 0 for 9 in game number 1. They had some opportunities to bury the game. They allowed a shorthanded goal in that one. Sammy Mantier said he'd been working on it. Let's see what he can do here. Josh Harding, he'd be a good one to captain this power play. Plays it down low to Ryan Foley. Had 24 goals in the Premier League season, looking for his first in the NHSL. Full down in the corner, up on the near boards again. Riley tries to lob it across, and it takes a funny bounce off the board. Siemens was reaching for it. Jeremy Friedrich all the way out of his net. Jumps on that.
Oh, not bad at all by Jeremy. I think he's keen to stop that play. They had complete control of the Stars, so I think it's a very wise move by Jeremy, jumping out, becoming part of the play. He had space. He knew he was going to get it.
Johan Levesque was bearing down on him.
Put his circus skills into action and went one-legged around him.
Joey Mcdougall settles it down. Harding couldn't hold the line, and it's a foot race forward, and it's won by Jared Siemens. Siemens, sharp angle shot. Glenn Forbes White has no idea where he is. He finally finds it, and Joey Mcdougall was going towards him. That was an awkward moment, and Glenn Forbes White shaking his head, cannot believe it.
He's saving those first ones every time. This is the third one that Glennie has had it. He's got it right there. He just doesn't know about it.
That would have been a backbreaker. The Noarlunga Stars on the power play absolutely need the next goal to keep this one tight.
Johan was right there as well. He really got in Showtime's way. If he had that bit of extra time, he might have had a goal there.
Shot from the point of another face-off win from the Xtreme. Andrew Chen put that through traffic, and it's picked up again by Noah Maley. He's earning quite the reputation for himself. Charbonneau plays it back behind the goal. Kubik, right side. And here comes Jake Riley, one of the rising stars of Australian hockey. Guys to go up high on Jeremy Friedrich, knocked down from Jan Kubik. Again, can't hold the line, and the Xtreme will hold on. That one goes offside, so the Stars haven't really been able to get set quite in this power play.
And here again, we've got that near goal just before, that nearly got there. Thank God it was Jan Kubik actually who tied up Showtime with just enough time for Glennie to realize and just get his blocker on top of it.
Andrew Chen, one of the goal scorers today. Worked on a give and go with Benson. Nice pass forward from Josh Harding. Andrew Chen was there to break it up again. Harding has a man all over him, and Harding blows a tire and awkwardly falls into the boards. Played again in the corner. Chen tries to clear. It's kept in by the Stars. Kubik finds Harding with a shooting lane. Harding rifled one off the backboards, loose puck in front. Stars played it back to a man, but nobody was home. And it goes back to Josh Harding, an eventful shift for the veteran.
Oh, that is a cannon of a shot. Nobody wants to be in front of that, not even Jeremy.
Again, an awkward bounce off the boards. Only 8 seconds to go in the power play. Can they clear it? And they will. And here's Xander Wardlaw breaking away. He's got Stapleton with him. Stapleton down in front. And Glenn Forbes White gets the pad down. It worked his way through the goalie and into the corner. They got away with one, but a turnover. Jordan Geyer pitching in from the point. Jumps over Dean Peterson's stick. Taylor just awkwardly bounced off a couple parts of his body, and a huge hit at the center line. Dean Peterson walks in to Jared Mcdougall. Again, Siemens creates the turnover. Sharp angle shot ricochets off the side of the mesh. Back behind the goal. Working on the right side. Back to the point. Sharp angle shot. It was fired by Siemens, and that went wide. Johan Levesque plays it around the corner. Kept in by Huxley. Huxley looking down low. Siemens centering play. Loose puck in front. And it's a player that got dumped in front of the net, and Jake Hazels. And this is a good shift from the Xtreme. Lots of chances. Shot blocked. But again, tied up by Joey Mcdougall. Working towards the front of the net. Stars still can't clear. Siemens keeps it in. What pressure from this line. The Xtreme are obviously matching up this Siemens, Mcdougall, Maley line with Kubik and Riley, and they just dominated that shift.
A lot of action going on in that one. You had McDonald go down. Peterson was just an absolute force going out there. Another one coming back from retirement for this league. Just absolutely decimated poor Jared on that blue line there.
Big forecheck from the Xtreme, generated a couple chances, but they could not score a goal. They have scored one this period. Xander Wardlaw and Benson combined again for a goal. Repeat of earlier message with those two. Teams battle away for it, and here comes Jake Riley. Lobs it towards the center. It almost gets through, but it was nifty little cutoff from Graham Charbonneau. Plays it back behind the goals. Awkward collision for it. Noah Maley again working against two players. Nat Benson gets in there, and here's Noah Maley, gets the puck taken away from Jake Riley, and he's going to use some speed to get up the ice. Riley cuts towards the ice, and he just couldn't settle the puck down, where Jake Riley has not had a lot of space in this game, has he, Justine? No, they've been all over him. They know he's a force. They know he's quick. I think that Eric has had that at the forefront of his mind in this game. Benson tried to dangle around his friend Jake Riley. He goes back down low. Xtreme had Ollie Martin with the puck, was trying to cut towards the net. Wrapped around the boards, picked up by Jake Hazel, whips it towards the center of the ice, settled down by Tom Tate. He'll throw it back in so the Xtreme can get the line change. Hazel has Nat Benson deflect that puck. Ryan Full has the puck taken away. He has to regather the puck and play it off the left side. And Zach Steele, he's had speed tonight. He works wide, flutters one in front of the face of Jeremy Friedrich. Jake Hazel capes it in and plays it into the corner. Zach Steele back behind the goals, working away, chipping down low in the Xtreme, chipping towards the blue line, but not out. Madsen was the one that held the line. Back behind the goal to Ryan Full. In behind the net, sharp shot in front of the net by Ambrose Foster, and a nice move from Xander Wardlaw. He draws the penalty, and the Xtreme are going back to the power play. Yeah, Dump Truck's not happy about that one either. Look, it's a tough one. When you're a D, you get caught, someone gets behind you. It is tempting to stick the stick out, but the question is, did he step on his stick, or did Dump Truck hook him under the ankles? Well, Dave Madsen, not the happiest about it. Well, before we go to this power play, let's bring in Lockie Cahill again. Lockie, what's going on in the stat department?
Yeah, look, last period we saw that the Xtreme were really dangerous in their face-off and offensive zone, but now it's just changed. Their Stars are winning a lot more face-off. I think they've got 14-3 right now, and they're really dangerous in the offensive zone, which is really good.
Definitely.
Shot again off the draw, though. This was Jared Siemens. Back behind the goal. Maley was grinding away with it, and it's Josh Harding tying the man up in the corner for the Stars. The Stars are 3 for 3 on penalty kills, and they've got a shorthanded goal. They've killed off a 5-on-3, a 5-minute major, and a 2-minute minor. So this is not an unfamiliar place for them. Here's a look at the replay.
Just kind of hooks the foot a little bit, I reckon. It was a bit of a weak one, but it was there. It was tripping. This will show a good view of it. So he leads in going for the puck, but unfortunately Xander even blows past him, probably a little bit quick for his liking, and just catches it under the ankle there. Draw one by the Stars again. And it's lobbed off the backboards. Friedrich will settle it down. And that is the power of winning the face-off. 0 for 3 in the first period, but 2 for 4 in game number 1. Geyer sends it to the corner. Hazel off the boards and back behind the goal. Jeremy Friedrich settles it down. Jan Kubik working against Huxley, and that corner has become the killer corner. Just things getting stuck. The puck, I think, got stuck under the boards. It's a pity it's not running time. You could use that corner very, very appealingly to kill off some penalties if you really wanted to, but good old stop time is going to prevent that from being an advantage for anybody. We've been seeing Steele match up with Benson quite a lot in this game. I'm wondering if Steele's starting to learn a little bit, starting to change it up. Xtreme have about a minute left to try to find some kind of chemistry on this power play opportunity. Stars have done a good job keeping them out, and that will help as Andrew Chen skated in offside. The Xtreme very much in shutdown mode at the moment in terms of they're up 4-1. They just don't need to make mistakes. Definitely. I mean, we've just cracked halfway in this game, and we've still got a long time, but the Stars are going to have to come back, and they're going to have to do it now. Chip forward and a good foot race for it.
backhanded play, cuts towards the front of the net. A good opportunity from Jake Hazel, who joined the rush with just 35 seconds to go on the power play. And there's Zach Steele skating well all day. Banks it off the boards. Graham Charbonneau runs into that one. And he'll play it back towards Nathaniel Benson. Right side. Chen stops, maneuvers his way down low, fires it in front of the face of the goal, gets all the way through about 6 bodies and back towards Graham Charbonneau. Ollie Martin back behind the net. Wardlaw plays it to the point. Chen's got one tonight, looking through traffic, and Glenn Forbes White battled through it. He made the save with about 3 seconds to go, so it's almost going to be the end of that opportunity.
Good to see Hazel and Komazek really shutting down those players in front of the net. I think that the first period, that was a real tipping point for them. But now they're really just any opportunity. When Glenn's got the puck, they're right in front of him. They're bodyguards.
Draw off to the left of Jeremy Friedrich. Glenn Forbes White. He's been the busier of the 2 goalies. Jeremy Friedrich's been a relatively quiet night compared to his counterpart in the last 2 occasions he's played a game. Dean Peterson was drawn down, and it's scooped up by Tyson Boyd, who sends it to the center of the ice. That's going to go for icing, but the Stars are now 4 for 4 tonight and 15 for 15 on the season on the PK.
Yeah, I think Tyson might have just thought that penalty, which had only just expired, was still on. But it would have been interesting because you had Harding come out of the box. God, if that had been a pass, I would have loved to have seen him go toe-to-toe with Jeremy Friedrich.
Stars, you feel like, really do need the next goal. Getting outshot 25-12 in this game. Played off to the left side. Working his way. Centering play. It was a nice one in front. Jared McDonough was leading Luke Harding towards the net. Josh Harding fires one in front of the net. Loose puck in front, jamming away at it. Luke Harding again. And the Xtreme are there to push the big man into the corner.
And just seeing Sarcic, the way he went for Luke Harding, he was not letting him near Jeremy. But it's a fantastic move here, straight over. You've got a man on the net. Really well done.
Sarcic has an assist already today. That's Jared McDonald trying to find Harding, and went back to the point where the other Harding, 2 brothers playing in this game on the same team, and Josh and Luke, and then 2 brothers going against each other in Tim and Nathaniel Benson.
I do feel for Paula Benson tonight, their mother. I'm sure she's sitting up there with a Stars t-shirt and Xtreme hat on.
Who do you cheer for?
Oh, exactly.
Fires a shot on net. Zach Steele again getting involved. This one deflects out of play. Again, goals from Peterson, Mcdougall, and Chen, all within the first 5 minutes of the game. Sarcic, Siemens, and Benson with the assist. Johan Levesque scored a shorthanded goal to get the Stars on the board, but in the first minute of this period, Xander Wardlaw and Nathaniel Benson combined to re-establish that 3-goal lead for the Xtreme. A game that the Stars are been having to chase for pretty much the whole time. They've been shorthanded for, well, just over 10 minutes of the game. Hasn't gone their way, but there's still lots to play. But you feel like they really need that next goal.
Absolutely, and you can see Jake Riley, a player who's been so dominant in this game and has had such an impact. He's not on the score yet. You want to see this guy put a puck in the net tonight. He's put in so much work.
Left side, here's Zach Steele again, working wide, fires one down low, and it goes off the side of the net. Noah Maley again down low. Riley getting shut down tonight from this Mcdougall, Maley, and Siemens line. Riley's had a couple opportunities, but he hasn't really been in space very much. We'll wonder if Sammy Mantier starts to change the lines at some point. Ryan Full coming out there with a couple new players. This one's Full, Levesque, and Collier. So already they are switching up the lines, it's looking like. The Stars looking for something else 5-on-5.
And they've still got time, so now's the time to do it, absolutely.
So Levesque dropped from the top line down to play with Ryan Full, and Zach Steele promoted to play with Jan Kubik and Jake Riley, that's kind of an all-in line, isn't it? You just throw your best guys out there, the ones that score the most goals, and hope for the best?
Absolutely. I mean, look, it's not a technique, so to speak. You do put a line together at some point in the game when you want to make a comeback, and you think, okay, if this is anyone scoring, it is these guys. These guys are going to score. So if that's what Sammy has done, I'm excited to see it.
Full heading back out there again with Collier and Levesque.
In his first game, I think he had 6 face-off wins in a row. Ryan Folt, he did very well in the face-offs.
He wins one there as Jake Hazel got a shot through traffic. It's tipped out. He blows it tired. It's a foot race for it. Hazel has to kind of get down the closing speed of Andrew Stapleton, and Kyle Collier just deflects that away and tries to get it to safety for the Stars. Played back in towards the goal, and it's grabbed again, this time by Tim Benson. The other half of the Benson combination. Andrew Stapleton draped all over him. Ryan Fohl, shovel pass down the right side. Johan Levesque tied up, almost comes away with it, and it's picked up by Benson. Kicked up forward by Johan Levesque, and Ryan Fohl has the puck in the neutral zone. Drops it to Collier, back to Fohl. Fohl cutting towards the net. He just couldn't settle the puck down, and the Xtreme will grab, wheel, and go the other way. Dean Peterson has Hazel bounce over him, centers it towards the net, and it almost created another opportunity. It was swiped at by Josh Holland behind the play, and back go the Stars the other direction. Working around Jake Hazel. Pushes it down to the corner. Nathaniel Benson grabs it. Benson, dangerous play in front of his own goal, but it heads back to the neutral zone. It feels like the Xtreme trying to suck the life out of the Stars in the game. But Josh Harding, nice play in front. Oh my goodness, how did that not go in? Jared Mcdougall was wide open, and he couldn't find the back of the net. It was nicely set up from Josh Harding. It was there for Mcdougall, but he couldn't find it. Stars need to take those ones. Mcdougall back behind the boards again. And again, Friedrich almost turns this over, and he does. Here come the Stars on the attack. Turning and firing is Tomlinson. Josh Harding was calling for it. He never got it, and instead it had to be a nice save from Jeremy Friedrich, but the Stars finally looking threatening.
Some very offensive plays there from the Stars, and combinations you haven't seen before. The open net there, it's huge.
That was a save from Jeremy Friedrich.
Oh, insane. Oh, well,
that was Jeremy.
Fantastic work from Jeremy. He's had half the amount of shots, but the guy's not cold. He is ready.
So the Xtreme are going to take a timeout.
And this one here, with Dean and Jake Hazel. I mean, Dean has come from a different decade of hockey where that is just customary. That is, hello, how are you, coming across the blue line. Unfortunately, in the last 10 or so years, I don't think that Jake Hazel would have been exposed to that kind of contact anymore.
He just gave him the cold shoulder.
Absolutely. No, Dean was going in. There was no saying about it.
How's the save from Jeremy Friedrich there?
The second or the third one? That was well done, indeed.
He hasn't been tested often, but saves like that go a long way in winning hockey games for the Xtreme.
Absolutely, and it does show the Stars are not done. They're coming, and they're keeping on coming, and all they need, I think, is this one goal to put them back to 4-2, give them that momentum. These guys have scored very far and in between at the Xtreme, so I think that they're there, the opportunities. They just need to really, really force that puck into the net. Jeremy is playing well today.
So Eric Lean called the timeout, just tried to settle the team down with 4:22. Obviously trying to get to the third period with a 3-goal lead to protect rather than 2 and allow the Stars to get momentum right back. Battle for it in the corner. Zach Steele now playing with Jake Riley. And Riley tries to come away, that dangles his way into traffic, but Riley fires a shot off the shoulder, rebound, Steele a dive for it, now Kubik in the corner. He finds Riley, Riley fires right away, and it's back in the corner again, so the Stars starting to get some momentum going as it's played down the ice. That one's gonna go for icing.
Forcing the Xtreme at icing at this point, it does tell a story. They are coming. They have every opportunity and they're taking it.
The shots on goal are starting to close up a little bit here.
Really well done there by Jake. He manages to get a shot off, I think, when he's not even on his feet. He's definitely hungry. He wants the opportunities, and he's going to take them.
Kubik off the draw, powering towards the net. Centering play in front, Friedrich down, trying to find the puck. They were calling for the whistle. I don't think Friedrich really knew where it was. They're gonna get it. The whistle, that is. But a new look top line combination, throwing Zach Steele up there. Again, the Xtreme responding.
And you can see their coverage here. They're protecting Jeremy so well. You've got 3 guys from the Xtreme. No one from the Stars is getting near him.
Stars again, they're winning a few more draws, but it's the Xtreme that go the other way, and here comes Jared Siemens. This line's been dangerous all night. Matched up against the full line now. Down low, the Stars. Connor Smith, right side. Stars do clear the zone. Here's Johan Levesque. Levesque, shovel pass forward. It's a shot on net from Ambrose Foster, and Jeremy Friedrich had to get the pad down to make another nice save. Joey Mcdougall tied up. Xtreme can't clear. Full keeps it alive. Levesque loses the puck behind him back to the point, and Ryan Full chips it into the corner. Levesque battling against a man. Josh Harding, he gets hauled down. He was looking for something. He's not going to get it. Huxley in the corner, trying to chip it out. The Stars showing some sort of life and pushback here.
Good to see Ambrose Foster on the offensive as well. He's a guy who doesn't get many shifts in a game. He's a development player, so for him to have a nice, good little shot on net, really good for him.
At one point, the shots on goal were 22-10. So the Stars showing a pushback. They've had a couple dangerous opportunities, but Jeremy Friedrich has got the pad down to take that away. In games that Jeremy Friedrich has played in net, when his team scores first, he has not lost in the last 2 years. And today, the Xtreme scored first, so history on the Xtreme side. But this game far from over. Jake Hazel carrying the puck in. He gets bashed into on a nice hit from Andrew Chen that pokes the puck free. And Graham Charbonneau somehow comes out of traffic, lobs it forward to Ollie Martin. Martin whips one in on net, it sails over Glenn Forbes-White's outreached glove. Xander Wardlaw back on it on the attack, backhanded play, and it goes into the corner. Martin settling it down, looking for a man in front. Benson looking for Wardlaw. Benson's got 2 assists tonight, and he was looking for another. Chipped out into the neutral zone, and Graham Charbonneau will go back and settle it down. Batted down by Huxley. Stars create a neutral zone turnover, pushed forward. Here comes Quinton Tomlinson. He just carried that right into traffic. Komazek off the right boards. Stars will complete their line change, and a huge hit down. It was just a big contact. Komazek ran in to Andrew Stapleton, and that goes behind. Battling back down behind there, Jake Riley trying to create a bit of a turnover. Xtreme back on their heels just a little bit right now. Harding in front of the bench. It's going to be too many men. No, or offside.
Offside on that one.
Offside.
Yep.
I thought maybe the player got on too many men. Here's a look at the hit from Chen on Jake Hazel. But that was the
good
hit.
Body work. Good body work by Chen there.
That was the hit from Komazek.
Oh, that was fantastic. You know, he saw him. It was one of those, you read the play and you think, do I go for the puck or do I go for the player? Right decision. Go for the player, because he can't do anything with the puck when he's on his guts on the ice. There's nothing he can do.
Harding quickly across to Jake Riley. Riley leads, steal ahead. Nice pass in front of the net. It was dangerous, and Kubik just couldn't bank it home. Just over a minute to go in the period, and the Stars need something. Harding back behind the goal. Plays it to Connor Smith, and he gives it away. Mcdougall centering play. He was looking for Maley, and instead it'll be Jake Riley kicking it forward. Ryan Folk couldn't settle it down. Connor Smith, new and number 5 for Kyle Clark, whips a shot on goal, and it's a nice save from Jeremy Friedrich, who's been a lot busier this last half of the second period.
Definitely, and it's really good to see the Stars are still here. A bit of a bouncy one in that neutral zone there. Not really sure where it was going. I don't think any of the boys knew where it was going either. So good to see Connor Smith settle it down, take it in, even have his own good shot.
Ryan Full taking the job for the Stars. Another face-off win for them. They've controlled it in this period. As the Xtreme chip it into the neutral zone and skating to work on it as Wardlaw gets laid out by Connor Smith. But Benson on the backhand, Glenn Forbes White makes the save. Rebound down low, Wardlaw scores! Xander Wardlaw and Nat Benson have done it again.
I'm surprised Xander could see straight. He just landed a massive hit from Connor Smith, and he goes in to score a goal less than 3 seconds later.
It's the second time in the period that these guys have scored a goal. There was the hit, Benson with the shot, Benson with the gather, Wardlaw with the finish. It's 5-1.
The hit was so good. The helmet flew. There it goes. He had to put his own helmet back on and then come score the goal.
A 3-assist night for Nathaniel Benson.
Jeez. Great recovery there from Nat. Gets it back, straight to Xander. Great finish. Really well played.
Hey, Nathaniel Benson told me before the game he was going for 4 assists tonight. He's got 3, and we're just about at the end of the second period. Stars are going to draw a penalty here as a wild shot of net settled down. 4 seconds to go. The Xtreme will finally touch this up, so we'll have enough time for one more face-off. But the Stars looked like they were working their way back in the game, but the Xtreme have added 2 more goals this period. Xander Wardlaw and Nat Benson proven to be a killer combo.
Yeah, they don't come much prettier than that, especially after getting absolutely poleaxed coming into the zone.
Bounce down, bounce up, put one in the back of the net.
You can do a lot of things in a shift, but if you can do that, that's a good shift.
Well, in the second intermission, we're going to have more of the In the Slot panel show. We'll hear about that crazy circus story that we talked about earlier with Johan Levesque and his Cirque du Soleil-ish background. You'll get that in the intermission. So if you want to hear the background of a true character of this game, you might want to tune into that. One second to go on the clock, so time for maybe a slap shot off the face-off from Jan Kubik settling in here. They try to get the shot off. It goes wide, but a pushback from the Stars. But that dynamic duo of Nathaniel Benson and Xander Wardlaw looking so lethal for the Xtreme.
Absolutely, and they're trying their hearts out on the offensive end of the ice, but they're still just having these brief lapses on the defensive end that are costing them.
Let's go down to one of the goal scorers right now. Dave Muggleton is with Andrew Chen.
Thanks, guys. Okay, well, the late goal there kind of wrecked my line of questioning a little bit. I wanted to talk to you as a defenseman about the flurry that Noarlunga Stars were putting on you. You had about a 10-shot-on-goal lead, and they just about halved it in 5 minutes. What was that flurry like?
I think we just took off the pedal a bit. I mean, we scored 3 goals in the first 10 minutes. And I think we just started to get ahead of ourselves, thinking it was over already, and let them in a bit. But we got a coach to sort us out during the first intermission, and we started strong here, but let off a bit again, so we're going to get another grilling.
So what are you, moving into the final period, what are you guys as a team going to be looking to call this a success?
Just trying to stick to the same way we played in the first 10 minutes. If we can stick to a solid game, we'll be able to close it out. I have a feeling, yeah. But they're starting to change it up a bit, starting to send one guy back, so it doesn't affect us too much, but we got to be aware of it.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Good to see Andrew Chen getting some media attention, but goals from Xander Wardlaw ×2. How's his season? He's got 5 points on the year now. We're going to throw it to the In the Slot panel show, and then Eric and Justine will be back to bring it home. You're watching the NHSL on SBS On Demand. The second period was bookmarked by a pair of Xander Wardlaw goals, both of them assisted by Nathaniel Benson. But there was a lot of good moments for the Stars in that. It looked like they were going to make it a game. The Xtreme just finding the back of the net. They lead 5-1. Eric Balnard, Justine Ruffino calling all the action for you on SBS On Demand. Well, it's all Xtreme right now, but it kind of feels closer than 5-1.
It definitely does. And I mean, you know, as you said before, it is, if you take away those 3 goals in those first 5 minutes of the game, it's still a really close hockey game. And the goals have been few and far in between. The Stars still have had those opportunities. Jeremy Friedrich has been playing very, very well. I'm still, you know, 50-50 on this one, but 20 minutes of stop time is an absolute eternity in this game.
Well, I'm not quite as sold as you on 50-50 in this one. I would say it's tilted heavily in the favor of the Xtreme, but on the Stars' points here, they do have a power play for 1 minute and 59 seconds to start this third period. You got to figure if they're going to get back in the game, it starts by scoring on this power play.
Absolutely, and it would be an absolutely amazing way to start this period for the Stars. And, you know, 50-50 is probably a bit ambitious, but I've got hope.
Still a lot of time. You are right. If the Xtreme can score 3 goals in 5 minutes, why can't the Stars? The problem is they need 4 goals versus a goaltender who's been the hottest in the state in Jeremy Friedrich. They did start to mix up the lines, the Stars. They moved Zach Steele to the top line, and Johan Levesque ended up getting paired with Ryan Fohl. Shots on goal, 25-19 in this game. At one time, the Xtreme were up 22-10. So the Stars have pushed it back, but the Xtreme got timely goals in this one. And they've sent the Stars chasing pretty much from puck drop at the start of this.
Interesting lineup. You've got Fohl, you've got Jake, you've got Johan. It's going to be a good one for the Stars, I reckon. Stars
on the power play, and they put all their goal scorers out there. They need to get one to start this period off. Harding, left side. Jan Kubik dangles his way through traffic. Back to Harding. He enters the zone, and he'll fire a shot on goal. Blocker down by Friedrich, and it's kicked into the corner. And Joey Mcdougall, smart play, but it goes off Dave Gall, the referee. Kind of a fluke play, and it gives possession right back to the Stars. Maley cutting his way, plays the puck in behind the goal. Jan Kubik, shovel pass again. And Kubik plays it off to the right side. Jake Riley walks in across the zone, using that speed, works down low. Riley centering play, was looking for Ryan Fohl. They were number 1-2 on the goal scoring list in Premier League action this year. Long shot for the point. Smith with a shot. It had traffic. It hit a body, bounced to the side, and Andrew Stapleton will slap this the length of the ice. So the first half of the penalty killed off by the Xtreme. Riley, lob pass left side. It just banks off the boards. And Andrew Chen whiffs on it. Johan Levesque will settle it down. Levesque back behind the goal. Shuffled towards the net. It was a big body in front and Ryan Fohl, but he couldn't quite connect on it. Levesque digs the puck out of the corner. Drop back off to the side. Down low behind the net for Ryan Fohl. Fohl backhands it and wheels it around the corner to Jake Riley. Riley back down to Fohl. Fohl tries to put it in front, and it was Jai Sarcic that tipped it towards Jeremy Friedrich with just 10 seconds to go.
Well, they've definitely had some control in that last play. They definitely had the Xtreme flat-footed, waiting to see what was going to happen. The Stars have got the potential. They've just got to execute it well.
Well, time for one more face-off win and a shot on goal from the Stars' perspective on this power play. The Xtreme win the draw, but they can't clear the zone. Hazel puts it towards the net. Knocked down by Smith. There was a man screen in front of the net. Luke Harding couldn't tip it, and the penalty is going to come to an end. So the Stars now 0 for 2 on the power play. Pushed towards the goal by Tyson Boyd. Puck back in the corner. Harding digging away down in the corner with his line mate Jared Mcdougall. Picked up by Xander Wardlaw, and he sends it out towards Ollie Martin. He's looking for Nathaniel Benson. He's got 3 assists already today. Connor Smith plays that out of play. Very foggy looking ice arena at the moment, isn't it?
It is a bit like that in here, a few clouds above the play, but you've got a great atmosphere. You've got 2 pieces of ice with people skating around, a few people watching the game. Every single direction is covered with people. It's fantastic.
5-1 game. The Xtreme won game number 1, 5-3, and they built a pretty big lead. They were up 3-0 after the second period, and then the Brewers pushed back, but the Xtreme just found ways to bury games. They built leads early, the Xtreme, in every game they played so far, and they are 17.5 minutes away of just trying to hold on to a lead to skate to the first 2-0 and win streak in the NHSL. Madsen digging around the corner. And the puck again is in that corner of death. We've seen a couple stoppages. The boards, the puck just getting stuck under those boards. Zach Steele off the boards, chases his own rebound. He's going to go in and work against Graham Charbonneau, and he skips over him. Andrew Chen blows a tire, picked up by Kubik, back to the point. Madsen settles it down, but there's Xander Wardlaw trying to create the turnover. Picked up by Kubik. Kubik drops it off, play in front of the net. Jeremy Friedrich makes a big save on Zach Steele.
Fantastic play there by the boys. Even Zach coming through. If you've got Graham Charbonneau coming in on you on the boards, it takes a lot of guts to think, no, I think I'm just going to jump through him. But this shot, such a great opportunity for the boys.
Friedrich making a big save. He made a bunch of those in the last 10 minutes of the second period. And he's involved in the game now. Draw one again by the Xtreme. Loose puck in the slot. Levesque turning, couldn't get enough mustard on it, and it's just lobbed out by the Xtreme, but they will negate icing as Dean Peterson is there first. Peterson scored the first goal of the game off a Jai Sargent shot, and scooting back is Ryan Full, who wheels out to the right side. Full tries to get around Huxley. Huxley gives him a little tap, and it's just enough to take him out the puck, but Johan Levesque grabs it back. Hazel puts it through traffic. It's back down low. Levesque back to Hazel. Hazel fires one in front. It goes off Huxley's stick. Back to the point. Shot on goal from Smith. Gets his own rebound. Fires it in front, and bodies just getting in the way of pucks. Huxley can't clear the zone. Connor Smith banks it behind the goal. And Ryan Full was trying to return the favor, but he returns it all the way down 200 feet in behind the goal. Connor Smith banks it to Johan Levesque, the goal scorer for the Stars, and Ryan Full will hustle after this, working against Noah Maley. Joey Mcdougall tips it to Andrew Chen, looking for Siemens. And skating out of it, here he comes again. Jared Siemens, he's been pretty good tonight. Siemens cuts to the right side, fires one through, that's a blocked shot, and back in behind the goal. Working down low, Noah Maley. Maley tenacious on the puck. He has two Stars all over him, and he pushes it forward for Jared Siemens to come in for support. Josh Harding gets this off for Ryan Full, and it's cleared out and pushed forward. The Stars can't clear the zone. Settled down by Maley, drops it off to Charbonneau. Charbonneau creates some space, and he just holds the line. Charbonneau still with the puck, kicks it to himself. A great effort from Charbonneau, but finally the Stars play it back to the neutral zone. The Xtreme just trying to kill the game right now. They're fine with this style of play. That one goes for icing, so it will be an offensive zone, but I'm sure the Xtreme are fine with this.
Well, you know what? The Xtreme are on the back foot at the moment. This is a very interesting way for the Stars to come back. They've given Glennie, I think, the longest vacation he's had all game, and they've just been hammering Jeremy Friedrich. There's a lot of block shots, but there's a lot of pressure on the Xtreme right now.
Still no registered shots on goal this, or just the one on Jeremy Friedrich earlier in terms of shots on goal this period. But Jeremy Friedrich made that big save earlier on Zach Steele. Xtreme getting bodies in the puck, but not a lot of opportunities going either direction at the moment. Chipped off into the neutral zone. Huxley gets a shot after, but you're right, Glenn Forbes-White yet to face a shot in this third period. 5.5 minutes into it. It's a slow-paced third period, and the Xtreme would be okay with it. Tom Tate. Back to Benson. Benson, a nice move to evade one. He evades two. He gets it up to Wardlaw on the left wing, and Wardlaw has to go dig for this in the corner. But Jake Hazel is there first, but Ollie Martin picks it up off the turnover. Martin flutters one on net. It got tipped high and out of play. 6 minutes into the third, a power play gone wayward for the Stars, and time starting to become a factor.
Definitely, but you know what? It's also cardio is starting to become a factor, I think. I dare say it, but the Xtreme, they're starting to look tired. They're bent over, they're breathing really heavy. I want to see a team outlast another team. This is 20-minute stop time. I can't stress it enough. I've spoken to players who are playing in this game. They don't like it because it's so long. They love every single other thing about it, but it is a long game. So by this time in the game, they've been on the ice for over 2 hours. And who is going to outlast? That is the key thing, because the score right now, 5-1. It doesn't take long to score goals. If you start playing this game within the last 5-10 minutes of this game, you can take the game, whether it's 10-1 or 5-1.
Adelaide Xtreme Up 4 goals at the moment. They scored 3 of those in the first 5 minutes by way of Mcdougall, Peterson, and Chen. Levesque had a shorthanded goal. Wardlaw had 2 in the second, and only 1 shot on goal, or a few shots on goal, rather, in the third period so far. Scoreboard finally updates in terms of shots on goal, 29-25. The Stars have brought that back. It was heavy one-sided direction early in this game, 22-10 at one point. Now you see 29-25. Chip forward, Jeremy Friedrich will watch this go by him. He's made some really good saves to keep that lead alive. Back down in the corner. Xtreme come away with it. Dean Peterson's been anchoring the third line all night. And up he goes. Chucks it in behind the goal. Josh Harding there first. And Harding will look up the ice and try to set something up for the Stars, who are up against it right now. Smith, left side. Here comes Full. Sharp angle shot, kick save. Jeremy Friedrich makes a really nice save again. And here comes Joey Mcdougall. Mcdougall with some space, with some speed, gets in down low, tangled up by Jake Hazel, who plays it out, and it's a 2-on-1 for the Stars the other way. Jake Riley needs to score, and he does. Jake Riley barred down, and the Stars are back in it.
That is an unbelievable shot by Riley. It was laser vision, pinpoint, top shelf, touch to nothing but the top net. Well done. Really good shot here. And he had the option. He had Levesque. He was right there, but he saw the shot and he took it. And if he hadn't got it, Levesque would have cleaned up what was left.
Riley grabbing the puck in his own end. And the Stars with some hope yet. The next goal would have all but killed the game if the Xtreme had scored it. But it just makes it a little interesting. Now the Stars get one, but they're going to need another still in a hurry. 5-2 game they've made it on the back of Jake Riley. Tip forward, and Johan Levesque trying to skate forward. Jai Sarcic softly plays it over. Tip back on the other side. Nathaniel Benson down on his knees, gets back up. Benson firing around, working against 2 Stars players. He gets buried down in the corner. Ollie Martin was trying to come away with it. Benson back down, and a penalty is going to come, an interference call.
Oh, the brothers are pushing and shoving as well, so that's always nice to see.
This one going down the other end of the ice, so I think it's going against the Xtreme. So I think the Stars are going to have a power play. They're 0 for 2 in the game, 0 for 11 on the season. Boy, oh boy, would this be a good time to get a goal for the Stars.
Absolutely. Making it 5-3 at this point would be extremely optimistic for them, and they'd be on a great roll.
Full wins the draw. Kubik gets the puck from Josh Harding. Kubik across the ice looking for Riley. Play in front. Big save from Jeremy Friedrich. The net was kicked off, but Friedrich maybe makes his best save yet.
Great setup. If they can do that again and make it right, exactly the same way, they just need to find that hole. Jeremy is just, he's sticking that leg out in the exact shapes. Right spot, right time.
Friedrich got down, and Ryan Full was the one that tried to bang away at it, and Jeremy Friedrich comes up with a huge save. Battling towards the net, the Stars couldn't quite hold on to it. Here's Jake Riley. Riley looking to pounce, finds Harding, tip shot, Jeremy Friedrich. What a save off the deflection. Sticks out the leather, and now the kid is coming to play.
Fantastic shot here by Josh, just proving what a legend he really is, and geez, what a save.
I think it was tipped in front too. Johan Levesque might have got a piece of it, but Jeremy Friedrich all over that. The shots have evened up, by the way. Showing the Stars back in it. Loose puck, Jeremy Friedrich just gets a stick on it to chip it out. Levesque plays it down. It's just a 2-2 hockey game if you take away the first 5 minutes of this contest. where the Xtreme were up big. Kubik with a shooting leg, goes up high. Jeremy Friedrich gets a pad save on it. Shot by Riley. Pressure is up by the Stars. They're doing everything but scoring. Riley gets around Chen. Riley stops, creates, centering play. Friedrich down, makes another pad save. The Stars are all over the Xtreme. Riley, tip shot in front. Friedrich, another big save. Johan Levesque was shuffling it in. The net off its bearings.
That net's come off a couple of times this period. I dare say Jeremy might be getting a little slippery on the skates.
What a save, though, he's made. Jeremy Friedrich's made 4 or 5. That was a good one. That was a good one. He made an earlier one. Jeremy Friedrich. Levesque wanting credit for the goal, but net was off its bearings. Jeremy Friedrich taking away some opportunities here. He's now made 30 saves. Somehow there's going to be another penalty coming. The Stars are going to touch this up, and the Xtreme are going to go 4-on-4.
Another interference call.
Zach Steele doesn't love it, skating his way. Here's Glenn Forbes-White playing the puck. And there it is.
Okay.
The stick just up for Zach Steele, and that is just enough. So the power play comes to an end. It looked really threatening, though, didn't it?
Oh, absolutely. You know what, though? You can't discount them on the PK, because earlier in the game, as we know, they scored on the PK. It's just going to be about stopping the Xtreme from getting any more pucks in the net at this point.
4-on-4 hockey for 40 seconds. Loose puck. Benson tries to go 5-hole. Jake Hazel got down and made the block shot. Back to Wardlaw. Lobs it towards the net. And it's played down, but that's going to go for icing. Connor Smith not realizing they're not shorthanded. It's 4-on-4. So they'll have to go all the way down the other end of the ice. 22 seconds to go before it is an Adelaide Xtreme power play. Well, they'll have a chance to restore a 4-goal lead. Draw one again. Xtreme. Win it and hold on to it. Shot for the point from Charbonneau was blocked. Back to Chen. Chen to Benson, who unloaded, and that one rifled wide. Wardlaw plays it around the boards. It's picked up by Jared Mcdougall. Mcdougall tries to dangle Charbonneau, but he was there to cut him off. Charbonneau plays it back to Nathaniel Benson. 3 points on the night. Now a goal and 3 assists on the season. Wardlaw, he's got a couple points tonight. He's got a couple goals. He's the leading point scorer, and he dangles his way through traffic. It's now a power play opportunity for the Xtreme. Wardlaw working around. He was looking for Ollie Martin, but it goes all the way back, and Andrew Chen will be the one to grab it for the Xtreme. 45 seconds to go in the power play. The Stars have been dynamite on the PK. They've even scored a shorthanded goal. They've killed off a 5-minute major. They've killed off a 5-on-3. This is a big third period kill for them. Josh Harding plays it up, but not out. Intercepted by Martin. Cuts his way to the front. Martin scores! Ollie Martin with a power play goal. And that is a backbreaker for the Stars, and Martin has his second of the year. Off the turnover.
Walks in from the point through 2 guys. Oh, that's a lot of traffic for Glenn. That's really unfortunate. Such a good shot from Ollie on that one.
Big giveaway from Josh Harding. And Ollie Martin, a dangerous guy to let shoot. He's led the A-grade competition.
For quite a long time, actually.
So 6-2. The Stars look like they've just dug themselves in an early hole that they never could quite get out of. And here comes Levesque, 2-on-1. Levesque to Harding, Harding to Full. Couldn't settle it down. And it kind of sums up the night for the Stars right there. But a loose puck in front again. Full, back to the point. Harding through traffic, still some desperation about them. Andrew Stapleton chips it out. And here comes Brandon Taylor. Taylor tries to dangle around Harding, and Harding plays the puck and the body, gets it to Foster. It's chipped up to Full. Full leading on Levesque, and Jeremy Friedrich makes an easy save.
A little bit too fancy by the Stars. I mean, they had two options. They go A, B, and C. Still can't get the shot off. They really need to hold on and just look at what they've got going on, because they ran out of options really quickly on that offensive play. Any one of those guys could have taken that shot, and any other guys could have been the rebound guy.
Oh, a 6-2 game. The Stars had the game down to 5-2. They had a power play, but Jeremy Friedrich made about 4 or 5 big-time saves to keep the puck out of the back of the net. It set up Ollie Martin to later score on the power play to reestablish the game at 6-2. This kind of feels like last Friday night. Anytime either the Stars or the Brewers get their way closer, the Xtreme have found an answer. And they're up big again. Still some time to go, but just over 8 minutes only. Maley up the point. Chipped down, and it's settled down by Zach Steele. Steele heads up the ice, trying to work around Sarcic, and Sarcic played him perfectly. And going the other direction. Here comes Jared Siemens. Siemens out wide, centering play in front, knocked down. Maley chipping away at it. That's where he scored 2 goals last week. And Glenn Forbes-White gets down and makes the save.
No, it's good to see the Stars. They're backing Glenn. They're not letting guys like Noah, who make those great second shots, they're not letting him in this time. So it's good to see that they're learning.
Mcdougall settles in for the draw. And it's one, but it goes all the way back out towards the center line. Chen plays it off to Siemens. Siemens out wide, cuts to the net, leads a man on. Knocked down off the backboards is Noah Maley. Maley can't quite control it. Chip back out to the point. Huxley keeps it in. Here's Mcdougall. One on the day, and Glenn Forbes-White makes an excellent save. That'll look cool on the highlight reel for Glenn.
Really good save there by Glenn. That could have easily been 7-2, but no. Great shot, great save.
Mcdougall scored earlier on the backhand. Draw one by Benson. And it's the Stars, though, that take it the other direction. Foster leads a man ahead. Huxley gets tangled up in front of his own net. Johan Levesque working over him. Played off to the right side. Wardlaw with 2 second-period goals. Retreats back behind his own goal. Huxley plays it up high. It's a little touch pass down. Settled down by Ryan Full. Back to the point, left side. Here comes Levesque. Levesque around Benson. Levesque down low. Sharp angle shot goes off the side of the net. Foster tried to play it towards the front of the net. It was tipped away by Andrew Chen. Chen can't settle it down, and here comes Nathaniel Benson. Benson up the center of the ice, out wide, dropped off. Touch pass in front, and Benson robbed by Glenn Forbes-White. He was looking for point number 4 on the night, but Glenn Forbes-White makes a nice couple saves. But the Xtreme finding their feet again.
They've always got that man going to the net, following up, and you've got to, as a defenseman, you've got to be ready for that. You've got to see that guy. He's going to the net. He wants the puck.
They scored a couple goals in tight last week, the Xtreme. 6 goals from 5 different goal scorers. And another big effort from the Xtreme tonight. They had the bye week 1. They got the bye next week. Loose puck for it, and Jeremy Friedrich will play it out towards the right side. Grabbed by Josh Holland, but he's knocked away, and that goes a little bit offside. Well, once again, 3 goals in the first 5 minutes of this game. And that was just too big of a hole to start behind for the Stars when it really comes down to it.
It is. If you, like we've said it a couple of times tonight, and you know we can't do it officially. Take those 3 goals away in the first 5 minutes. This is a different game. But we have seen a good fight, a really, really good comeback from the Stars. So if they've proved they can do it, whether they can do it tonight is a different question.
We're going to need that whole 60-minute effort. They're going to come away with a win here. They lost the first game in overtime. They still got the point, though. Here's Johan Levesque. Goal in each of the games so far. Lob towards the net and knocked down into the corner. Played again. Here's Jake Riley. Riley fans on the shot. Regathers the play, but Graham Charbonneau in front clears it off to the left to Jared Siemens. but it was just outstretched for him. Kubik looking for Riley. Riley in tight again, scores! Jake Riley gets his second goal of the game and his second one on Jeremy Friedrich, and the Stars still fighting back.
This is the beautiful thing about hockey. I've been in games where there've been three goals scored in 30 seconds, and that's a running time game. So, here comes Sarcic. He's not very happy. He's got something to say to Harding. That'll be very interesting to see if something comes of it. I think there's a few people who would love to see what would come of that. I think Josh is going to be on his best behavior, I think, for this last 5 minutes.
Jake Riley, goal number 2 of the night, goal number 2 of the period.
He does it so fluently, it looks like he's not even blinking. It's just a pinpoint laser beam shot.
From the same spot. So it's 3-3 after the first 5 minutes of the game.
And Jeremy and Jake have played together for a long time. I mean, having two really good friends play against each other, you do wonder, does he save more than Jake shoots, or does Jake score more?
And as soon as they get the goal, the Stars take a penalty right at the center line off the face-off. Dave Madsen tied up Xander Wardlaw. So just as the Stars got some momentum,
I think Dump Truck wants it. I think he wants it, but I think Sarcic is running for the bench. No, I don't think today is not the day. And Huxley is telling him, he's saying, do not do it. I know this guy. You will not end up on the right side of it. Huxley is telling Sarcic, take it down a notch.
well, he was looking for something. He was already had the 2 minutes today, or 2-minute penalty to his name, Dave Madsen, as he was heading to the box.
Yeah.
Probably wise of Jai Sarcic just to not risk anything else for the team.
I would not want to test that reputation, not while being filmed. But honestly, I think that Xander might need a bigger helmet. That's the second time in this game where his has come flying off. A smaller helmet, I have to say, actually.
Smaller helmet, yeah. Bigger one would make it worse.
No, I was going to say, sorry. No, he needs a smaller helmet. Someone needs to adjust Xander Wardlaw's helmet. Because either Dump Truck has literally blown his head nearly off, or his helmet is just too big.
Well, the Stars just got a goal to keep a very faint heartbeat still going, and they've just given it right back. So the Xtreme will have a man advantage for 2 minutes or less. They scored on their last power play opportunity.
Xander Wardlaw, Jake Riley, two really good friends playing against each other. 2 goals each, I believe, Eric, and they're good buddies actually off the ice.
Puck goes into the corner, it's played around, but David Huxley keeps it in for the Xtreme. Huxley chips it back down low. Stars can't quite clear, takes a funny bounce off it. Benson to Wardlaw, back to Benson. They try to get a shot on goal, chipping away to Glenn Forbes. White was down, and it's picked up by the Stars, and they play it down, and Jake Riley's in behind the defense. Riley gonna get there first. He'll just try to tip it to himself, and he goes and gets his own rebound. Plays it to the slot, but the Xtreme are away 5-on-2. Here's Benson out on the backhand, drops it to Wardlaw. Big save from Glenn Forbes White. It's tipped out and shorthanded. Here comes Jake Riley. Riley fires it to the front of the net. Jan Kubik couldn't bank it home. They've got one shorthanded goal already today, and now behind the defense, Xander Wardlaw walks in, and that trickles wide. Game opening up just a little bit. Shot in front, shot down low, rebound from Nathaniel Benson. Glenn Forbes White gets down and makes the save, so Glenn Forbes White makes a couple nice ones. Nice shot, but this was the odd man rush that started it the other way with Jake Riley.
Yeah, and he's looking for Jan. It's just a little bit, I think, a bit floppy on the ice at that point, not quite there. Really good placement by Jake, though. He's always just that little bit behind, which is great because he's a quick guy, and having Jan there as a support, really, really good play. If they can make a few more of those happen in the next 4 minutes, it'll make for an interesting one.
Still a minute penalty to kill off. It's knocked down at the line and not out, but finally, Levesque couldn't hold the line. Joey Mcdougall walks in the other way. Peterson, Mcdougall, Chen score the first 3 goals. Johan Levesque scores a shorthanded goal in the third period to make it 3-1. Then the Stars killed off a 5-minute disadvantage and a 5-on-3 during that. Kept their hopes alive. Then Wardlaw scores twice in the second. The third period is being led by the Stars. 2-1 on the scoreboard, but they're still down 6-3 overall. Stars turn it over, led ahead. Here's Johan Levesque in behind the defense. Jeremy Friedrich, a huge save on the shoulder. Friedrich needed to make it. He's made a few big saves. I know Riley's beat him twice, but Friedrich made a few big ones in this third period. Under 4 to go. Joey Mcdougall trying to scoop it out of a scrum. Back behind the play, wrapped around the boards by Jared Siemens. Mcdougall tries to swipe it out. They're on the power play, but you wouldn't know it. It's the Stars' power towards the net. Still down 4-on-5, but 3 minutes and 30 seconds to go. Time an enemy of the Stars. Benson walks around as the penalty comes to an end. So the Xtreme will probably outchance. Charbonneau goes down. He was looking for another call, not going to get it, but behind the defense, again, Dean Peterson. He's got a goal or two. He's got 1 goal tonight. Back down low. Big hit in the corner. Holland bangs off of him. Now Charbonneau, scar machine away.
Boyd and
Charbonneau having a chat. And Tyson Boyd and Graham Charbonneau having a couple words.
Oh.
And now they're going at each other.
I think Tyson's saying, if you want it, let's go. But is it the time? I don't know. These are two very, very big guys.
And here they go.
Yep, here they go.
They chatted about it for a while, and Graham Charbonneau is now tangled up with Tyson Boyd, who are pretty good friends off the ice.
You know what? Friends fight. I think Charbonneau might have got the better end of that one, unfortunately for Tyson, but friends in the NHL fight all the time. They go have beer afterwards, and I don't think it's going to be much different in the NHSL. Friend or not off the ice, when you're on the ice, it's a different story.
This is the melee that started it. Boyd came in with kind of a hit on Holland, and then Graham Charbonneau came in with after the play.
They might even be talking about it right here. They might be saying, you know what, should we just settle this the old-fashioned way? And whatever the answer was, it was yes.
Well, Charbonneau with a 5-minute penalty. He got 12 penalty minutes in game number 1. He had 2 already before that, so both benches just trying to settle down a little bit.
Ice hockey is that game, though. You literally draft guys just to keep players like Holland, players like Noah Malley. You want to keep them safe, and the answer to that question is Graham Charbonneau, David Madsen, even guys like Harding and Huxley. They will keep your guys safe, and this is the result.
Under 3 minutes to go. So a bit of paperwork to sort out. All the players called back towards the bench. I don't know if there'll be an instigator penalty tapped on to anything here. Obviously the coach is having a word on the bench too. Well, it's a 6-3 game. The Stars have worked their way back in it, but that 3-goal deficit was just a big one to fall behind early on.
Stars have definitely shown some guts, though. They don't give up. It's a long game. They keep coming and coming and coming. And Jeremy Friedrich is playing an insane game. He is an insane goalie. He really, really is. He is fantastic. Take nothing away from that. The Stars, a few more opportunities, a few more slips from Jeremy Friedrich. Could go either way. Not today, I don't think.
Well, Graham Charbonneau ends up getting a 2-minute penalty for it. So the Stars are on the power play, and Johan Levesque fanned on the shot. Stars need a goal desperately, and they're going to get another penalty. No, they're pulling the goalie. So it's 6-on-4. Stars need a goal. Riley back to the point. Kubik, sharp side, waits, knocks it down, trying to hold on to it. Loose puck in front, and it was tangled up. Ryan Full was on the doorstep, but his stick was taken away at the last second. Jake Riley, down low. He was looking for Zach Steele. Harding keeps it in. Riley off the boards, back to the point. Mcdougall ties it up. Maley trying to knock it down. It's going to be a hand pass, yeah.
Really good control there, and Showtime is not giving him any space at all. He doesn't want them to have control. He knows the net is open, but the Stars are pushing. There's 2 minutes left. They want to ease the gap.
Certainly no quit from the Stars. Glenn Forbes-White heads back to the net, so the net back manned, and I think the Stars are going to call a timeout. The formula here is what? Probably score a goal in the next 30 seconds, pull the goalie, score again, pull the goalie, score again.
I don't know. Every team has a bit of a different thing. I know in A grade for me, I had one guy who could pretty much score off the face-off if I needed him to, because he was so large and intimidating that if he went hard enough at the face-off, he could probably put the puck in the net. So shout out to George Loria for always being my guy who I go to in moments where I absolutely need a goal. Not sure what Sammy's going to come up with, but I'm sure whatever it is, he's prepared. It's well thought out, and he's not giving up.
Might just be a rest for these guys that he's probably going to have to rely on for the last 2+ minutes of this hockey game.
Well, that's the question, isn't it? I've seen a lot of Jake Riley this period, a lot. He has had a lot of ice time. Doesn't seem to be slowing down too much. Question is, does he stay on for the next 2 minutes and 12 seconds?
Druck coming outside the zone. Skirmish for it just outside the blue line, and the Stars come away with it. Glenn Forbes-White waiting for the signal to leave the net again. He's going to get it as Johan Levesque flutters it towards the net. It's a cheap shot at net if they wanted it, and it just floats all the way back. Jan Kubik settles it down. Kubik through the mist and the fog and the smoke coming down at the ice arena now.
It's biblical, really, isn't it? Here they come.
Knocked down by Nathaniel. Benson fires it at the net. He was looking for point number 4. Off the side of the net. Still an empty net, and the Stars need possession, and they're going to get it. It's pushed down in the attacking zone, but only 90 seconds to go in the game. It would be a tremendous pace if they were to somehow tie this one up. Xtreme just trying to eat the puck in the corner. Benson gets a shot after he deposits it, and Riley over to Harding. Harding with an angle. Harding tries to go far side, and he's going to skate after his own rebound, but it leaves the zone. And only 10 seconds to go on the power play, and the Stars settle it back down behind their own goal. 5 seconds to go. Dropped off. Here comes Levesque. Enters the zone. Full with a shot. Broken up by Tom Tate. Back down low again. Here's Jared McDonough. McDonough with the puck. Just under a minute to go in the game. Empty net still. Jai Sargent's trying to hold on to it. Tate fans on the shot. It's cleared down the length of the ice. They were having the free shot, Dean Peterson. It's not going to be icing because Andrew Stapleton was there behind the play. Stapleton knocked off the puck by Smith. That's pretty much all but going to do it. 6-3, the Xtreme have the lead over the Stars. They might add an empty net goal. They might be looking for one. They score 3 goals in the first 5 minutes of the game, and that ends up being the difference. Shot in from the point, chipped out and just out of play by Noah Maley, but Justine, that is about all that she's going to write tonight. The Xtreme are going to go to 2-0.
I think it's looking that way, and it's one of those things. We're still looking at some nice plays, though. We've got an empty net. We've got guys moving up and down the ice. Benson just misses the net and then goes over and hits the cameraman.
He hits the cameraman.
Good way to be hit, I think. Not so much for the cameraman, but for Benson. But inches from that open net. It could have been 7-3. Still, Glenn's back in the net, so it won't be an empty netter. Interesting to see if they try to pull something off the face-off. Yeah,
Maley got a penalty, but it doesn't really matter. 4 seconds to go. Jake Riley, Ollie looking for that hat trick. Jeremy Friedrich makes the save.
Yes!
And they score.
That's a goal. They're calling it a goal. Joey Rezek has called it a goal.
At the end of the game.
So close, it hurts.
A killer for Jeremy's save percentage, maybe.
Oh, on the buzzer. 6-4. If we discount that first 6 minutes of this game, it would have been 3-4.
That's Connor Smith getting the goal. So right at the buzzer, the game goes down, and that's the second straight game Jeremy's allowed a goal in the last few seconds. So fun and games for Connor Smith, but at the end of the day, the Xtreme win this one 6-4, and they're going to first place on the standings with 4 points. All the teams have played each other twice, and the Xtreme will take that one from a pretty good start to this game.
Well, they've all played each other now. They've all got a sense of what the other teams are like. I think this game was a lot of learning for both teams, a lot of getting the feeling. It was a long story to tell. It was up and down, but the Xtreme had a lot of control. They had a lot of shots. They had a lot of Jeremy Friedrich. So it's really hard to deny them this win.
Xander Wardlaw with a couple goals. 3 assists from Nathaniel Benson. Pretty solid performance.
Jake Riley showing up in the third period. 3 goals on the buzzer, and that'll make it 3 for him today. So to just rock up in that third period.
Let's head down to Dave Muggleton, who's got a guy whose save percentage wasn't even 90% today.
Just bringing up the fact that your save percentage wasn't even 90%. How does that make you feel?
Honestly, I'm just glad we got the W. The boys worked really hard. At the end of the day, I don't really care about the stats if we're getting the wins, so that's all that matters to me.
Well, other than stats, there's a certain habit that we've noticed that you probably want to kick. So that's the second time in a row that you've allowed a goal in the dying seconds. Happy about that, or is that something you've got to work on?
No, I think the length of the game's getting to us a little bit mentally, and I've just got to stay a little bit sharper at the end there. But all in all, they were one game, so I'm not too upset about it either.
Now, fortunately, the Xtreme were sitting on a reasonably comfy lead for both of them, so not much damage done. After 3 games, every team's played each other. The Xtreme come out, the only one undefeated. You guys feeling good?
Yeah, I think it's credit to the work we've put in. We've got some really good staff, really good players, a really good group. Honestly, can't fault anyone's effort. Everyone's stepping up and everyone's doing their thing. It's a long season, though, so we'll see how we go.
No worries, thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Jeremy Friedrich had a really good game, made a few big saves, especially while on the power play. But the Xtreme skated out to a 6-4 lead. They'll go on the bye next week. The Stars and the Brewers will drop the puck. Both teams looking to get back in the win column. The Stars, well, that'll be a good one, looking to avenge that round 1 loss.
Absolutely. Sammy's already had words about pretty frustrated at giving away that first game. And now, after this one as well, coming back, I think they definitely have something to prove.
Yeah, and they might have given away the game in the first 5 minutes of this one. Final score from Adelaide as the fans exit the building. The Xtreme get this one 6-4 on behalf of everybody at the production team here and at the Ice Arena. On behalf of Justine Ruffino, our stats guys, Taylor and Lockie. How about Dave Muggleton on the side, and of course, producer Brandon. This is us signing off, saying see you next week.